Are you fucking kidding me? So I've been trying to deal with this. I've been trying to stream on YouTube for the last like 35 minutes, and I had to restart fucking OBS. Man, this is a bunch of bullshit, dude. I hate this shit. I hate streaming sometimes, man. I hate streaming sometimes, man. But it's fun. That's why I do it. Anyway, I want to do some. I want to do some politics on YouTube today because I don't get shit on fucking Rumble. I get like 1 or 2 viewers every now and then, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. I think personally. So, yeah. So how do I see if I'm? Oh, look at that. That's great. Yeah. So how do I see if I'm? That's just great. All right. So let's go. We're gonna watch some Asmongold, obviously, because he's popular, and we're gonna farm him. We're gonna farm him like a fucking redheaded stepchild. All right. Trump changed his mind. Start with that.
United in our efforts.
Donald Trump roached out on tariffs. He did. I was supportive of the tariffs. I thought this is a good move. This is a good idea. China's been fucking us over for a long time. Let's actually have some degree of accountability. And you know what Donald Trump did? He changed his fucking mind. Trump totally roached out. Has created exemptions for tariffs in China. Things like computer chips, phone stuff, etc. Apparently, people having to spend extra money on their phone is a very big problem.
Yeah, I guess
disappointed? So. Yes. A lot of people are disappointed, including myself. The art of the deal?
The art of the deal.
I guess so.
Beijing striking back today with a 125% tariff on all U.S. goods sold in China. This comes after President Trump placed a 145% tariff on Chinese imports.
Yep.
Now we're learning of a possible reprieve on certain products. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has the latest from Washington.
Hey, Ike, as the U.S.-China trade war heats up, the Trump administration is exempting smartphones, laptops, and other electronics from reciprocal tariffs. That's according to a bulletin posted by U.S. Customs Border Protection late Friday night. Now, those exemptions also include solar cells, flat panel TV displays, flash drives, computer processors, memory chips, and semiconductor-based storage devices.
An assload of stuff.
For big tech companies like Apple, which relies on China to assemble the iPhone. UBS had estimated that the cost of the new iPhone 16 Pro Max could jump by $950 under the 145% tariffs that Trump has imposed on all goods from China.
See, this is my mindset on it, is that these companies want to go and make these products in other countries and then charge us a bunch of like less money for it. Like, the problem is that where's the upside really for Americans in just buying endless cheap Chinese garbage? Like, where's the light at the end of that tunnel? Right? I'm not really seeing it.
And right now, there appears to be no end in sight for the U.S.-China trade war.
That's true.
China has imposed 125% tariffs on American goods, and those steep tariffs go into effect today. The White House has said that there currently are no.
I don't think that Apple exists in a benefit of the United States in any sort of unique way. Like, Apple is an international company. They have no, like, they care about the United States, but they don't have any allegiance to it. They don't have any obligation to it. Like, if the United States isn't doing well, Apple is just going to go somewhere else.
Yep.
So why is it that we're doing things that are in the best interest of Apple? It's like Apple has gained like billions of dollars in value. Where is that value to the American worker? Where is that value to the individual person that lives in the house, you know, like 3 blocks over from you?
And that's why
that value doesn't exist.
And that's why so many people want Trump to fucking
all of the value, the wealth that's being created is being created in an abstract, and even that abstract is consolidated inside a very, very small handful of people.
Yep. why everybody wants to fucking crash the stock market in the first place.
Now, this trade war is
Stop this
painful
bullshit.
for both countries. Last year, the U.S. imported $240 billion worth of goods from China, everything from toys, clothes to electronics. Those reciprocal tariffs, those are going to hurt American farmers. China buys more soybeans from the U.S. than any other country. All of this is hurting small businesses as well, not just consumers.
Sell the soybeans here.
Face those higher prices. I visited a toy store in Virginia, and the owner told me that virtually everything she sells in her store is either made in China or made with parts from China.
Yeah, of course.
Ike?
Well, duh. Slave labor.
Yeah, no, it's a whole lot. And what is this here? Majority of U.S. companies would do that, though, if they knew the Mountain companies would just head out to somewhere UK right now, brick and mortar themed companies would suffer. Yeah, well, they are suffering already. That's what's happening. You're directly talking about globalization, and it's mostly bad for any one country. Well, I think that it's like it's very one-sidedly bad, I think, for us, and I feel like especially in the state that it's in right now, China has been fighting back against us in the with the meme wars. See, what they're not showing is that in these are going to be union jobs.
Yeah, I know. Union jobs, boys.
Putting this stuff together. Chips are going to be cheaper too. That's right. That's right. Why is it a fat guy with a? Why does he have a microscope over the KFC? Is this really fried chicken? Let me take a look. It looks like this looks like the original. Oh yeah.
We all know China would rather see kids in those spots, and let's be honest, there probably are kids in those spots with fat people fucking face-overs. Let's be honest.
Yeah. All right, there it is. Yeah, it's Chicken Inspector with the NVIDIA chips. You're goddamn right, brother. Look at this, bro. Like, this is my favorite one. These are union workers. You have to understand, like, this man has a 7-bedroom home. He's making upwards of, high 6-figure salary. He works about 23 hours a week. He has 3 weeks of paid vacation. Every weekend is off. And yeah, this is the future, right? This is the future. As soon as we get China out of the equation here, and everybody in America is going to be a fucking millionaire. That's just how it's going to be.
Bro.
Only 3 weeks? Well, I mean, yeah, no.
3 whole
right.
fucking
it's
weeks,
3
dude?
weeks a month. Yeah, he gets 3 weeks a month of vacation. So that's what it is. I do find it to be ironic where it's like, haha, look at these Americans doing these demeaning jobs. Well, wait a minute. Those are your jobs. What are you trying to say? Here's a list of Chinese electronics products that he has exempted from tariffs late last evening. So no, you're not going to have to pay double for your next mobile phone or tablet. He just exposed to Beijing exactly where our trade weaknesses are. So you have all of these things that are no longer going to be tariffed. And so, yeah, Tim Apple made the call. Somebody made the call, and now things are changing. And so, yes, Trump has roached out on tariffs. As I said, I'm annoyed by this. I'm not happy about this at all. I thought it was a great idea to tariff China.
It is.
Because, again, I feel like they just have massively taken advantage of us.
Yes.
Law,
exactly, yes.
And, also, like, the accounting practices stuff, I don't know a whole lot about that.
Fuck it, dude.
It's just, like, basically doing business in China, it's not symmetrical, right? It's massively asymmetrical, and the companies that are trying to come into that country and do business have to give up a lot of what I think are, rights that they should have as businesses. So anyway, that's it. So everything that matters. Yes, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Apparently, like, somebody said it's like 23% of the of like the amount of things that are being shipped in from China, but it's a pretty good amount, And let's see here. Look at Selena Wang. He will separate this using Section 230. You've typed this 2 or 3 times, so if this isn't something useful, you're getting permabanned. Let's see if I can find it here, if there's anything interesting. So, relief for tech CEOs. Tariffs may only be temporary. White House tells me that Trump will issue Section 232 study on semiconductors soon. Trump has said auto, steel, pharmaceuticals, and others will be included in essential tariffs. Yeah, but like the thing is that if you do tariff relief one time,
yep, it's gonna be all the time.
What's to stop people from expecting you from doing it again?
Pretty much. I think you should be like, well,
right?
The people have spoken. I
like,
was waiting for this.
That's really what I think. And anyway, we'll go back over here. I'll see if
they
I can
want
find
tariffs.
If this is something that's new or it's from yesterday. No. Okay, this is from something else before. So yeah, exactly. I'm glad you you call out the bad calls. Well, I mean, I've always called out bad calls. People are just mad when there's a good call and there's something I agree with. The thing is that people think that you're biased if you disagree with them.
Yep.
It's really just that simple. And so like now people are going to say I'm biased against Trump or something like that or not or whatever. But the fact is that like, yeah, I mean, that's the way that I feel about it. And it's unbiased confirms. Yeah, Trump's flip-flopping is so erratic. Well, it is erratic. And I think it's so erratic that like if I was China, I would not come to the table at this point. I wouldn't, because like this is too, like if I see somebody acting this way, like this is just me, I'm like, okay, this person is going to burn out and pop off, and then eventually they're just going to go back to normal, right? And so, yeah, it's too volatile, too unpredictable, etc. Trump fucked up. I think he fucked up. I definitely do.
Yeah,
and
he did.
I can't see it any other way besides that.
He did.
I mean, I'll see if there's like a video on it or something like that to look at. But overall, I mean, like, I'll be real. Like, it definitely looks like he fucked up.
He fucked
up. It didn't go the way that he wanted it to. But let's see if I can find this here, if there's any more of this. Yeah, China doesn't have any cards in this. Yeah, apparently, you know, Trump doesn't either. But, yeah, I don't know. Have you seen the marathon trailers from Bungie? Not yet. I'm going to watch it in just a little while. So it's a tariff war? Yeah, but if it's a tariff war, then it sure seems like, you know, China's winning if Trump is the one that's getting rid of the tariffs, right?
Not necessarily.
Because, like, nothing has really happened. Why is he making this exception? And I just think that it's a bad move. And yeah, do you think Trump trusted Lutnick too much? I have no idea what he trusted him with at all. And Section 230 is basically separating it from 145%. He will apply separated tariffs because we import medicine from them. I don't know. I mean, again, like I've pretty much said what I think about it. But yes, Trump did roach out on the tariffs, and I saw.
Did he though?
We'll probably watch a video about it.
We don't know if he actually roached out.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it, right?
Not yet, anyway.
And, he met with some business people recently and is making concessions for them. Yeah, but like that's not what I want him to do. Like I don't want Trump to act in the best interests of large tech and large business, because I don't think that large tech and large business acts in the best interest of the American people.
Well, duh.
So like when these companies are like trying to like lobby and cry to Trump, like, oh no, don't do this, do that instead, or whatever. These companies are the ones that have gotten rich off of slave labor. They've gotten rich off of planned obsolescence with manufactured electronics that are programmed to fail. They've gotten rich through basically offshoring American jobs to other countries and then shipping it back to America.
Exactly.
These are some companies that have made millions, billions, trillions of dollars doing this. And I really don't respect it a whole lot. I don't. And so when I see Trump making concessions for them, I don't see Trump as helping America, because Apple might be, you could think Apple is an American company, but it's an international company. It sells all over the world. Apple has no allegiance or obligation to America. And I think the fact is that it's important to keep that in mind. Apple didn't elect Trump, the people did. And so when he's meeting with Apple and making decisions on their best interest, that's frustrating for me. It definitely is. Are you not worried about hyperinflation threat? There's a lot of things to be worried about, but what I'm also worried about is this ongoing problem that's been going on for years and people not being able to get jobs. Trump roached out because of the whole world. As I see on chip makers are not fair to the rest of the world. The reality is that all you think about is America. Well, of course, all I would think about is America. I mean, I live in America. That would be my main focus. I mean, who would you expect me to think about? Why would I be thinking about like Germany or something like that? I mean, that's just, it's common sense. Weak from Trump? Yeah, definitely. And I'll be curious to see how he tries to spin this one and explain it. Like, for example, like, and you guys remember, I mean, I very strongly defended Trump, you know, putting the 90-day pause on tariffs for people that were willing to negotiate, because I'm like, okay, well, if you're willing to negotiate and come to the table, it's the same as like how they were trying to get a ceasefire for Ukraine and Russia before they had peace talks, right? Okay, I get it. I understand.
Maybe he's trying to let
but this,
fucking
I don't understand it. I don't see it. I don't really see the
trying to save
vision
face
here at all. So that's really where I'm at. That's what I think. Isn't this like LGBTQ shit all again? It was never about Americans. They just fooled you, and they do what's in their best interest. Well, yeah, but like that doesn't mean that you can't have your own opinions about it that are independent of that. Like I know what you're saying. Absolutely, I completely agree with what you're saying. But that doesn't mean that you can't have your own opinions independent of that and have your, have your own viewpoints. And so that's how I see it, right? And let's see if we can solve Ukraine. I mean, like, he hasn't so far, and he said he would. And so, yeah, if this tariff thing doesn't go very well, I'll be very disappointed. And, yeah, that's really it. He'll get something in return, like Apple making more plants in the U.S. Maybe, maybe not, right? I mean, I'm not sure. I'd have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, what is this here?
Okay, well, this changes everything now. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the stuff yet, so.
This computer is too slow.
Maybe it's just to make China save face.
People actually thought this guy wasn't going to get deported. It's insane. Fucking obviously. Yes, of course he's going to get deported. Let me see if I can... I'll watch a video about this real quick. Can be deported. Here we go.
Look, this is a very, very stunning move that's going to have repercussions for sure for all
That's the goal.
The other international students who have been targeted by the Trump administration.
That's what I want them to do. If somebody is an international student and they're coming to the country and agitating and causing political distrust, like... I don't think that we owe it to the rest of the world to be a, open platform for you to come here and cause political dissent.
True.
It's ridiculous.
Get the fuck out of here. We don't need you here.
It's ridiculous. Like, if you want to come here and complain about our politics, get the fuck out. Go back to your country. Yeah, any country would kick them out. Yeah, exactly. It's such a ridiculous premise that we need to have people that are not even citizens of this country. We're going to import them into this country and educate them so they can protest and complain in our country. Why do we have that? Why do we need this? Yeah, go complain in your own country. Exactly.
Their actions and demonstrations that they've been participating in under at campuses all across the country. I'm just looking at my notes here because, as you mentioned, I'm just running out of court right now, but it's really, really important because Judge Jamie Comins has found that Mahmoud Khalil is removable under the Secretary of State Marco Rubio's assertion that his continued presence and his actions in the United States actually compromise foreign policy and political priorities. That's very stunning because that is actually the only thing that she ruled on today. She did not rule on the other allegations that were raised by DHS that he allegedly misrepresented information on his green card application.
None of that matters. It doesn't have to matter. Like, they can just deport him for whatever reason they want. That's what the rules say.
Yeah, I guess so.
I said this at the beginning. Everybody was getting mad at me for saying this, but like, it's a fucking fact. Yeah, that's what the rules say. That's fucked up, though? No, it's not. Why is it fucked up that the country that you are a guest at, you are not a citizen. You're not a citizen. You might be a legal permanent resident, but you are not a citizen at. Why is it fucked up that they can tell you to leave? No. This is the same thing that I said before about, like, in Japan. Like, if somebody goes to Japan and they're, like, live streaming themselves being annoying, I think that Japan should absolutely get rid of them.
Me too.
100% they should.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Same as nuisance streamers? Yes, it's the exact same thing. And there doesn't need to be a crime. There doesn't need to be a violation, particularly. If somebody is coming to the country and they're being aggressive, annoying, disruptive, and problematic, get rid of them.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's that simple.
Azo.
It's so reasonable. Yes, this is common sense.
And they said in court that they need
not
go further than Secretary of State's Marco Rubio's assertion, and she seemed to agree.
Yeah.
And Armando, before we get...
that's it. Yeah, none of the other stuff matters.
To, as you say, what sort of effect this could have moving forward, because there are other people being detained, on the same grounds. I'm wondering, what is Khalil's family saying about this? Have you heard anything from his family?
Have not heard from his family, but we did hear from him right at the end of the court as the hearing was adjourned. He turned to look at his supporters, and he also addressed the judge himself, saying, quote, I would like to quote what you said last time, that there's nothing that's more important to this court than due process, rights, and fundamental fairness.
Clearly, that is the due process.
Yeah,
the due process is that the federal government gets to deport you if they think that you're a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
The due process is somebody is afforded that process of law.
Yep. Exactly.
Everybody has a different set of due process. I don't know why people don't understand this.
No kidding. I know everybody thinks that they're like fucking.
What we witnessed today is neither of these principles present today or in the whole process. This is exactly why the Trump administration has sent me to this court thousands of miles away from my family. I just hope that the urgency that you deem fit for me are afforded to the hundreds of others who have been here for months. Now, look, this is a really important caveat here, because as we know, there is another case, the federal case that's playing out in a New Jersey court. Right now, basically the ball is in their court. We don't expect any sudden movement here. In fact, the judge here today gave his immigration legal team.
Somebody said Japanese Americans that got deported in World War II was also okay. You're getting permabanned because that's not what I said. You're drawing a connection to two things that aren't related in order to argue based off of an emotional, like kind of what you think is an emotional mandate.
He's trying to fucking emotionally blackmail you.
Yeah, that's just not how it works. It's a bad faith argument. They're manipulating your words. Yeah, there's no reason even to respond.
2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks, to file any motion for additional relief, to decide whether or not they want to appeal that decision. So that's still going to process, and that's still going to play out. But now, really, eyes are on that New Jersey court and see what they rule as far as relief.
And Armando, this is a first of its kind here, anyway, and there is a precedent that could be set here, because other universities have reported other students being detained in a similar fashion. So I'm wondering, we're going to hear from Khalil's attorneys. We're waiting for that news conference. I know you'll be covering that for us. But in the meantime, I'm wondering what kind of effect this has. Do you think, now that the Trump administration has this legal victory on these grounds, keeping in mind Khalil is a green card holder and a legal permanent U.S. resident, will they try to do this to other people that they deem are, not okay to be in this country on those grounds?
I hope so. I hope so. That's what that is the best case scenario. Absolutely. As they should, yes. 100. Why wouldn't they? I don't know.
Seriously, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's not even a question. Like, yes, if somebody is coming to this country to cause political unrest, I want them deported. Period. If they're not a citizen, I want them deported. And the reason why is because we have enough of our own problems. You are a guest in this country. You are not a citizen. You have no right to be here. And you can leave.
Exactly.
Like, and I would feel the exact same way if somebody went to Britain and they were protesting and they weren't a citizen and Britain told them to leave. I would feel the same way if somebody went to China. Well, we know what would happen there. I would feel the same way if somebody went to Brazil and they went to Brazil and they started complaining. You go over there for college and now you're complaining and causing trouble. This is common sense for any normal person.
Yeah.
The only reason why people are against this is because they agree with his cause.
Exactly.
That's it. Because the U.S. is funding the killing of Palestinians. Yeah, I think that's really bad. And so that's a problem that I think Americans need to solve, and we need to approach that as Americans. I don't want to import in foreign people to tell us what our problems are and what we need to care about. And also, by the way, you're using like an emotional appeal again. It's like, well, because this really bad thing is happening, this gives me the get out of jail free card, a blank check to do whatever I want. No, that's not the way it works. The fact is that there are like hundreds of atrocities all over the world that happen all the time. And so why is it that this one is going to just give you the ability to just simply ignore the law? That's not how it works. And think about how many other countries have problems like that too.
Yeah.
No blank checks, no loopholes. Yeah, exactly.
No poop holes. No poop holes.
Sure, and look, you know, it's very clear that the Trump administration wanted to make an example out of him. This was the very first high-profile case of an international student being targeted by the Trump administration over his alleged actions during demonstrations. Now, it's really important here because his legal team did push back on a lot of those claims. There was a lot of information that was filed actually just 2 minutes before the hearing happened. You got to remember, the a legal team representing Mahmoud Khalil only had about 48 hours, a little less than 48 hours, to review all of the evidence that was being presented against their client and then form a proper rebuttal. Throughout the entire hearing, they said that they wanted a continuance. The judge actually denied that request. Now,
because it's not complicated. That's the reason why. Like, the law is it's pretty much plain English.
Yep.
Like, there's not really a lot of complications to this. Like, there's no reason to, like, do a runaround for this. What's considered political unrest? Because in a certain way, this could be considered taking away the person's right to free speech. I'm not interested, and I don't particularly care about maintaining a non-citizen's right to free speech to come into the country and cause political unrest.
I know.
I just simply don't care. I think that the, you know, at least like ideologically, I think that the Constitution should apply to American citizens, whether it's being applied to non-American citizens. Like, for example, the Constitution says that you have the right to vote, right? Do we think that anybody who's here, even if they're not a citizen, should vote? I definitely don't think so.
Hell no.
So, and by the way, the government doesn't either. So the whole logic that because the Constitution says this, that means that we need to follow it. Well, that's not applied in multiple other amendments, right? For example, voting. Voting's the best example I have. And so, no, I'm just not interested in that at all. Free speech advocate, by the way. Yeah, for Americans. Absolutely. And also, what do you
Absolutely for Americans.
I've never been like I'm not just simply this is something that I've heard before. Am I a free speech, like what do you call it? What's the word for it? Free speech absolutist? Have I ever said that about myself? A green card doesn't make you a citizen. What's the point of it then? So you can be a resident in the country. And you can work in the country? Okay. Of course.
I'm a free speech absolutist.
I'm scared? Yeah, of course.
Whatever the fuck
because
you want,
I've never said this before. I've never had this opinion. That's not it. People are really struggling with day one logic. Yeah. Well, this is the thing is that, again, which is done by protesting. This is somebody arguing. Do you actually believe this is a priority to deal with right now? Yes, I do. I do. I absolutely do. I'm glad this guy's getting deported, and I hope they do it to more people.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Me too.
And if like this is another example, right? Is that the strongest argument that this person has is using something that I didn't say against me. So yeah. This has nothing to do with free speech. Yeah, I know. Due process is important. Sorry, you can't just deport without due process. Well, the due process has already been applied. That was the judge's ruling.
Spoke about the other students, the other cases that we've been covering, absolutely, this can definitely have ramifications there, because if this judge is finding that the only thing that they had to do is have this memo, this two-page brief written by Secretary Rubio asserting that their presence affects foreign policy or the political priorities somehow, well, then that can also be applied to other students now.
Leading
Armando, I know we're waiting for Khalil's attorneys to speak. I also know what it's like to run out of court and report like you did today, so thank you for getting us the latest information. Yeah, no, I know how that is.
And you have, obviously, there are some people that are arguing, why don't you try talking to a real lawyer then? You seem so sure. Well, so did his lawyers. But you know who else is a lawyer? A judge. A judge is an elite lawyer. And guess what? A judge decided that he's gone. So I don't need to do that because it's already been done. That's why he's gone. Yeah, the court already ruled on it. It's that simple. Yeah, this is a huge W. I'm very glad to see this guy get removed, and I think they should do it to everybody else. All of the other people that were participating in these protests where they were taking over buildings and stuff, even if you were just tangentially involved and you're not an American citizen, get the fuck out.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. Get out of here. Beat feet. You're not a citizen of the United States. Get out of here. This changes.
Your adventure's just getting started. And like any good adventure,
this YouTuber has just been arrested and is facing 5 years in prison after disturbing a restricted island and violating international law. All to film content and leave this ancient remote tribe a can of Coke. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have a new contender for the Hall.
Leave him the fuck alone. Yeah, leave him the fuck alone. North Sentinel Island? Yeah, exactly. It's India. Okay, it's in that area though, right?
Fame of complete morons.
An American tourist has been arrested for allegedly traveling to a restricted reserve on a remote island and leaving behind a can of Coke as an offering for the world's most isolated tribe to try. Mikhailo Viktorovich Polyakov was arrested in India's Andaman and Nicobar Island.
You know what they should do as a punishment? Send him back. That's what they should do. They should go send his ass back.
After he allegedly visited a prohibited tribal reserve on North Sentinel Island without authorization.
So apparently we're doing this for content now. Well, that's a nightmare of an island.
I mean, I gotta respect the balls, bro. Like, these people like cannibals and shit, right? Like, you gonna go over there and fuck with them? Like, hey, that's better than going and playing on a PvE server.
That's a nightmare of an island that has, for some reason, attracted the wildest form of unwanted tourism. Now, including Mikhailo Polyakov, a 24-year-old American YouTuber known for thrill-seeking adventure vlogs, and now for violating international law. He goes by the Neo-Orientalist on YouTube and has a few thousand subscribers, and is currently making headlines for illegally landing on the North Sentinel Island, home to the famously uncontacted Sentinelese tribe. You know, the people who've made it extremely clear that they want nothing to do with the outside world. Like, arrow to the head, level of clear.
Tucked away in the picturesque waters of the Bay of Bengal exists a tiny island that has captured imaginations for centuries. But its beauty as a tropical paradise is not what has garnered attention. Rather, it is the often violent, uncontacted tribe that calls the island home. For most, this island is a window into the past and an opportunity to understand how ancient people lived. But for
another big reason, and this is actually one of the big reasons why you're not supposed to contact them, is because of diseases. Because they've been separated from so much of the rest of humanity that obviously their immune systems and everything haven't evolved in the same way that ours have.
Yep.
So if he's giving them something, like it's kind of like how what happened to Native Americans,
exactly.
Right? That's another big reason.
Eggs, bro. Eggs.
This island has become their final resting place.
Well, what did Polyakov actually do? He showed up to Point Blair, the capital of the Andaman of the Nicobar Islands, with the camera, an inflatable boat, and apparently zero regard for history or laws. On March 29th, he set off solo on his boat, which, by the way, I guess is the YouTube version of Hold My Beer. After a 9-hour journey, he reached the northeastern shore of the North Sentinel Island, ready to go for Columbus. But instead of smallpox and holy crosses, he brought a Diet Coke and a coconut. Not even a full meal.
Oh, I mean, a Diet Coke? What the fuck's wrong with him? Why the fuck would he do that?
Just a weird snack combo and a whistle.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. And with this whistle, he tried to get the tribe's attention. And obviously blowing a whistle at an uncontacted tribe, I guess that's how you get a collaboration invite.
Polyakov spent roughly an hour blowing a whistle from his inflatable boat in hopes of drawing attention to himself, but received no response.
Good.
He landed on the island for roughly 5 minutes, during which he collected samples, recorded a video, and left behind a can of soda and a coconut as offerings for the Sentinelese tribe.
What the
I feel like the ingredients of a Diet Coke would probably burn a hole in the tribe's stomach, man. Like, let's just...
Yeah, exactly.
Let's chill here. Let's not leave that for
the
that.
Sugar?
But
I don't know about that.
He didn't make.
No, they would die from the
for
fucking
his own sake, but also
all the fucking
he did,
additives
some
in it.
sand, film on the beach, and then I guess peaced out like it was some regular beach day.
Could've been a lot
Mission
worse.
trespass on sacred land is complete. But here's the plot twist. Back on the mainland, some local fishermen saw what he was up to and reported him.
Good.
Polyakov was arrested on March 31st, now
That's what you
faces
get.
multiple charges, including violation under India's Foreigners Act and tribal protection laws. If convicted, he's looking at up to 5 years in Indian prison, which is a pretty steep price for a simple vlog
I
title.
love to hear that. That is consequences. That's
Yes,
what
it
you
is.
fucking get.
Fuck around and
Why
find
are
out.
some influencers committing crimes in countries where you would never ever want to go to prison in? I mean, we just covered Vitaly. Why would you ever break laws in countries that have prisons that look like this? But also, honestly, the amount of time sounds a little short for what he actually did. Because let's be real, what he did wasn't brave. This is just incredibly reckless.
Even that bad.
Legal experts and common sense all agree that you don't mess with the Sentinelese.
Yeah, exactly.
Not because they're scary, well, they are as well, but because we are. We carry diseases that they've never been exposed to. Contact could wipe them out, like it did so many other tribes throughout history. But you know, for the sake of this video, let's put all the dangers to the tribe aside. Let's put all the international law to the side. Let's just say this is an extremely stupid move, considering how multiple missionaries and many
he could have been
more
killed. He
died
could have
for
been fucking
attempting to do
seen.
this
He
exact
could have
thing.
died.
So, for
He
those
could
who
have
don't
been
know, let me break
seen.
down what this island is and why this tribe has a history of people needing to stay far away from it. All right. Picture this, a beautiful tropical island straight out of a travel brochure.
Really nice place.
White sand, blue water, lush jungle, and if you step foot on it, you might get hit with an arrow.
Today's actually a really exciting day because we got to unfold one of these units right in front of a crowd of people full of nonprofit organizations.
Hey, you. You're that IRL streamer, aren't you? I used to do content like you until I took a 2.5 meter long arrow to the knee.
This is exactly where all those Skyrim guards went. So, welcome to North Sentinel Island, where the local vibe is no visitors ever. It's home to the Sentinelese, possibly the last uncontacted tribe on Earth. And when I say uncontacted, I mean they've been ghosting humanity for thousands of years. These people are the real-life version of hardcore Minecraft. They're like that tribal YouTube channel that went like super viral for building crazy stuff with mud, but minus the excavators, because, you know, they were also exposed for that. So while neighboring islands have been colonized, developed, and turned into places where you can probably get Wi-Fi and an overpriced smoothie, North Sentinel Island have stayed essentially stuck in time on purpose. They basically told the rest of the world that they don't want any technology. No, thank you. The first time they were caught on camera, you could literally see them try to put arrows through the people filming.
At last, the first glimpse of the Sentinelese.
And they're already, they're already going to war. They said, get the fuck out of here. Primitive technology was real. The other copycat channels were fake. The original guy was real, though.
This tribe
It's on
believes
site.
in total isolation. It will not tolerate a stranger.
As is obvious in the footage, the tribe had no interest in making friends, and rather buried half of the gifts they'd been given before shooting arrows toward the film crew.
A member of our film unit was wounded by one of the many arrows, each 2.5 meters long.
God damn.
So either Mikhailo saw this, did his research beforehand, and said, screw it, a 2.5 meter arrow, that ain't that bad. Or he didn't prepare for this trip at all. But I have a feeling he kind of did, because he showed up with a coconut. And we will learn later on that the only contact that humans have had that has been a positive contact
Was
to
the
this
coconut,
island has been because they were bribing them with coconuts. But if it was up to me, one simple Google search would that would make my mind.
I would be not. Nope. Not going anywhere near that.
I wouldn't go. Took me 15 seconds to realize I would never want to go to that island.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've also realized that there's a very big difference in how normal people operate and think compared to the people that I normally cover here on this channel.
Yeah,
There's a very big
pretty much.
difference. Well, the first real sighting of this island came in 1771 when a British ship spotted flickers of fire on shore. Probably cooking
fucking
dinner
IRL
or
streamers.
prepping the arrows. Hard to say. But things got real in the 1890s when an escaped prisoner washed up on the island.
Just
Search
enjoy
parties
your
went to
time
look
at
for
home.
him, and they found him full of arrows.
Fucking be going
Definitely not a warm welcome. That's more like...
I feel like that kind of, I mean, like that's kind of like a W, though, right? I mean, if this guy's a prisoner, he got away, and they set him straight. That's pretty good.
Get off my lawn, but in a really intense way.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the 1960s, Indian anthropologists decided to go play National Geographic and roll up with boats full of gifts, coconuts, metal tools, plastic stuff.
What happened?
Basically just this weird early version of an Amazon delivery. First visit, nobody home. The tribe, I guess, just dipped into the jungle, left their huts, fires, and food behind like you weren't invited. But then came this rare moment of success in the 90s, where an anthropologist named Madhumala Chattopadhyay
For sure.
No. When an anthropologist named joined the crew. First woman to try, by the way, and the team floated coconuts towards the beach. And the Sentinelese actually came out to grab them. I mean, one guy even checked out the boat like he was browsing a used car lot. So that was cool because it was calm, peaceful, no one got stabbed, great. But the next visit, things escalated. Because since 1996, it's been straight up illegal to go anywhere near this North Sentinel Island.
Yeah,
The law
good.
says
Seriously.
don't go within 3 nautical miles unless you're trying to get featured in some news headline saying tourist impaled by dozens of arrows on this remote island. And that's exactly what happened to some fishermen.
2 men aged 48 and 52 were fishing for mud crabs near the island. However, the pair got so drunk that while sleeping, the anchor of the boat, which was a rock tied to a rope, fell apart and drifted the men toward North Sentinel. The following morning, fellow fishermen said they tried to shout at the men and warn them that they were in danger. However, they did not respond. They were probably drunk, and the boat drifted into the shallows where they were attacked and killed.
Yeah, that's a rough fishing spot. You go out to fish and get a little drunk and you end up in the worst possible spot ever. But recently this also happened to another American tourist in 2018. Enter John Allen Cho, a 26-year-old missionary, adventurer, and how do I put it, a guy with a terrible plan. Because I guess he hired a fisherman to smuggle him to the island because he wanted to
Oh, right, to convert them to some fucking religion. Yep, that's what you get.
convert the Sentinelese to Christianity, which is
they need
a very
Jesus.
bold move. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised.
They needed Jesus, he needed a spear. Well,
Jehovah's Witness hasn't tried this
That's
yet,
what
but I
goes.
guess that just goes to show you that some front lawns can't even be passed by a Jehovah's Witness. But this guy actually wrote in his diary, "My name is John, I love you and Jesus loves you," and the Sentinelese were like, "Cool story, here's an arrow."
Now you're
Apparently
dead.
even his
Yeah.
Bible was hit with an arrow, and according to the people from his mission, this wasn't like John just got up and decided to do this on a whim. He tried to prepare for this.
Although, according to the head of the mission he was working for, John was significantly more prepared. All Chow's decisions, including his studies of sports science and training and working as a wilderness emergency medical technician, and classes he took in linguistics and cultural anthropology, were in preparation to share Jesus with the North Sentinelese. He
Oh,
was very
man.
well prepared for this moment.
So he was as prepped for this as a person,
Man.
I guess, could be, and still it ended very badly.
Yeah, I
Almost
bet.
like this shouldn't be attempted no matter what you try to do. The actual breakdown of what happened to John happened over 3 days.
Oh, jeez.
Day 1, he paddled over in a kayak carrying fish, gifts, and a Bible. When he got near the beach, the Sentinelese shot arrows at him, including one from a kid that nailed his waterproof Bible. And listen,
Goddamn.
if a child shoots an arrow through your scripture,
Bro,
that's
I would say that's a sign, right?
probably your divine sign to turn around. But it-
Exactly. Yeah. That like, okay, maybe they don't want Jesus. Like maybe Jesus doesn't want to go here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants to go there, but
Shall
he
leave?
was telling him, dude, you're not going
Of
to be
course
able
not.
to
He tried again.
convert him this time.
He wrote in his journal, "God, if you want me to be killed, so be it." Dude, if you believe in God, you can also argue that God gave you a brain to avoid this. But on day 3, the fishermen watched from a distance as the Sentinelese dragged his body across the sand and buried it. John Allen Cho was killed. Just like nearly every person before him who tried to enter this island without permission. So, why all the secrecy? Why the arrows? Well, again, beyond protecting their culture, there's a very real risk. The Sentinelese have zero immunity to common diseases, and even a cold could wipe them out. So yes, going there could literally be fatal to them and to you. I mean, even a Diet Coke could kill them, but I don't know. The point is, none of us know. A random
Well,
YouTube...
it's like if you're going over there and doing that for content, like you're putting a lot of people in danger, and this is kind of like what a lot of live streamers don't realize is that there are like ripple effects and secondary effects of your behavior
Exactly.
that you might not necessarily understand,
Exactly.
but they do happen and they will negatively affect other people.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so problematic.
Through like Mikalo for sure doesn't know. And at the end of the day, North
Yeah.
Sentinel isn't a lost island. It's not a mystery to solve.
I
It's
know.
a community that just wants to
Natural
be left
selection?
alone.
Yeah,
and
I bet.
honestly, you should kind of respect that. Now let's be real. If the first 5 arrows landing right next to you won't, maybe the 6th will. Now, Mikalo is currently detained in India and is due back in court on April 17th. But honestly, this was the best case scenario for something as stupid as this because he didn't actually manage to make contact with them.
Good.
He got arrested instead of dying in some horrific way, and he will likely get to enjoy the rest of his life without it ending with like 80 million arrows in himself.
Imagine
But guys
that.
with live streams and cameras,
Yeah,
we
he'll
gotta
just
chill.
be in an Indian prison instead.
Whether
Only
you're in
for a few
Japan or
years.
Korea,
It's not
streaming
gonna
in
be that
public
bad.
in New York City, or just trying to go to an internationally restricted island,
Terrapin?
respect the boundaries. The Sentinelese, they don't want followers, they're not interested in your clout, and they definitely don't want your can of Diet Coke. But at least he didn't live stream himself driving into a store to simply see what would happen like this guy did. So you can check out that video right here. And other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Bro, live streaming is going crazy now. What is wrong with these people? Oh my god.
Because everybody's trying to get famous,
yeah,
bro.
I don't even know what to say. Yeah, everybody's
Gotta
lost
do something
their
to get
fucking
famous,
mind.
brother. I know. You gotta do something to get famous, brother. Because, yeah, people want to fucking become relevant online, man. I do too, but I'm not really that into it. I mean, I will, hopefully, become relevant at some point, but I'm not really, like, that big into it, I guess you could say. This is my first fucking live stream on YouTube, so, yeah, even if I don't get any viewers, it's fine. Bill Mayer, McDonald.
Mr. President, you know the dog, that's unusual in the White House. He said, well, a lot of the presidents, they had a dog for political reasons. I said, no, people love dogs, that's what that is. Oh yeah, okay, that's true.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, maybe they do just like dogs. Maybe.
Maybe.
I can hear it now, yes.
I'm telling you what happened. At one point, we were walking through it is an amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying,
no, there's no way he said that. No, he did not say he lost.
wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad? He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is.
Oh my god, there it is. I guess... Oh god, this would have been so much funnier if they had all had, like, McDonald's. If they all
yeah,
had,
right.
Oh my god, it would have been so
all
funny.
eating McDonald's and shit.
That's the only thing, man. Like, they're just missing Alex Jones. I guess so.
On the world stage.
It's
I'm
not
just
AI,
taking as a
guys. This is
positive
real.
That this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy.
Well, this is one of the things that had happened, is that Trump, like, there was, like, leaked audio of Trump, and it was, like, behind the scenes, and he was talking like a normal person, and everybody was, like, really upset about this. They're like, well, wait a minute. Is this real? Like, why isn't he talking and acting like a retard right now? Yeah, I don't know what it is. But, yeah, Kid Rock, Bobster. Yeah, I love how they call Kid Rock Bob, because his name is Bob. Like, it's just... absolutely breaks character, you know?
Well, why wouldn't you call him Bob?
World's greatest actor? Yeah, I guess so.
He's not
Trump's any personable? Yeah, of course he is.
Bob,
Trump is a
Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected.
Yeah.
People who don't look you in the eye. People who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing. People whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what?
That's crazy.
None of that with him.
I know.
And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know. Your mind is blown. So's mine.
So Trump's actually not that bad of a person. Wow, would you look at that?
Bill Maher doesn't know it, but Bill Maher might have just dictated 2 international policies. Yep. What do you think about this? Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I guess we could do that. Yeah. Yeah, run it up. Run it up. Which one? I don't know. Maybe the tariff thing. Yeah, what do you think about the tariffs? I don't know. I think they kind of suck. Like, all right, I guess they suck. Yeah, let's just get rid of them.
Hey.
Yeah.
You look at that.
There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way.
Oh
and I
my
said,
God.
well,
Bill, you didn't tell us that we have to. Well, you didn't tell him to bomb Iran, did you? Like, please, bro. Please, bro, you didn't tell him to do that.
Obviously, you're privy to things about it I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him...
That was not 15 years ago. That's the problem.
But we got rid of that. You got rid of that.
Ooh.
He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky.
I love how people are like shocked by this, as if it's a big surprise. Yeah, no shit. Duh. Absolutely, of course this is what happens.
But that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell.
Oh.
I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes.
I think Bill Maher has been very fair. All things considered, I think he has been extremely fair to Trump, for better or for worse. Did he expect the public hanging? Yeah, well, I think that a lot of people have turned him into like this like super, like they've turned him into something that's larger than a person. And I think that that's why a lot of this type of messaging is surprising to people, is because it's like, actually, no, this is just some random guy. The comic book villain?
Israel's
Yeah.
embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far.
That's right.
Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports.
True.
Europe should pay for their defense.
That's right.
And of course, it makes sense.
I like this guy.
That Arab countries should take in Arab refugees. Like,
Hey! Yeah, what the fuck? Why do they have to go to Germany?
the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia
Hey!
took none. He said to me,
Hey, you know what? Thank fucking God. I am so glad that more people are well, no, pre-watch. No, it's a fucking fact. Everybody knows this. Everybody fucking knows this. I am so happy about this. I've been waiting on this for a while.
I said, well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him.
Yeah? There's no way?
He laughed. I never felt I had to walk on...
Just didn't give a fuck. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay.
And eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of what
I feel like you could really get down and talk with old Bill Clinton. Obama, you know, maybe he's a little bit like uptight, but I feel like if you had a conversation with Bill Clinton, like you could get down to business real quick.
Yeah, he's a fucking schmuck, dude. Bill Clinton's a terrible person.
These days.
Slick
He was
Willie,
even okay when I checked him on the orangutan.
Trump sues.
Lawsuit.
Oh, God.
He was. You know, he said to Dana White, you know, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile as if to say, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because it's fucking obvious. Yeah, it's completely fucking up. Fair enough. Yeah, I guess so. Right? Because, yeah, of course.
The most surreal part of the whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before.
Yeah.
And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and places we'd just been in.
Yeah, sure.
And he's ranting, disgusting, you're a terrible person. And I'm like, who's that guy? What happened to Glinda the Good Witch?
I am so glad Bill Mayer fucking finally came out of fucking...
And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there.
That's the thing is I remember again with that leaked audio where Trump was being normal. People were very unsettled by this.
Yes, they were. They were pissed.
They were like, wait a minute. Are you telling me that all this time... Pull it up. I don't remember. It was so long ago, I don't even remember what it was. It was so... I actually can't... I cannot find it. It was like fucking 8 years ago or something like that. It's just a character he plays? Yeah, but like... I think Bill's right that it is a little bit... unsettling that he's playing a character while being the president. You know, like that is...
Not really. You gotta
that gets me a little bit on edge. Uh-oh.
Oh, it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me at all.
A crazy person
People voted
doesn't
for it?
live in
They
the
did?
White House. A person who plays a crazy person on TV a lot lives there, which I know
Good
is
one.
fucked up. It's just not as fucked up as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I have no illusions now that I'm back to work at my job that he might start a new list.
Jesus Christ.
Because I don't have a good feeling and will be critical about a lot of what he's doing. The trade war and disappearing people, ruling by decree, threatening...
I love how the term disappearing people has just come out where it's like, no, you're getting deported for breaking the rules of the green card. You're not being disappeared. It's not happening. He's not disappearing people. If he disappeared them, you wouldn't know where they went.
Yeah, no
we
kidding.
all know where they are.
Judges gutting the government with glee. But I also think he now understands I have a job to do, or at least he did on this night, because he said to me early on
he knows
that
how
he'd
it
seen
is.
our last episode, which was the Friday before this dinner. And he said, I thought maybe you'd be nice, but you hit me really hard. I did. Because I'm not going to pull my punches that presidents get to propose a third term for themselves. He understood that.
There's more about this, by the way. There's going to be more.
And without animus. That doesn't mean he's not going to try to do it.
Yes.
At one point, I said to him, you're scaring people. Do you really want to be scaring your own citizens so much? And I know now you're all saying, and what did he say to that? Honestly, I don't remember. But it wasn't, okay, I'll stop. So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just
Thank God. I was worried he was going to stop the content. I was worried the show was about to be over.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, bro. All right, good. We still in business. Great.
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop? Yeah, I guess so.
Hell yeah, baby. I need the
very
content too. I
generous
don't have
time
any viewers.
and a
but-
willingness to listen
Hey.
and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the blowjob room. We were. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed.
Well, the reason why it's not all is that the people that don't like it are the mentally ill, tone policing Karens that make everything worse.
Yep.
That's the other group that causes all the problems in society. That's them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what?
They don't even like themselves.
Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really? That's what...
Someone, yeah, you gave a Nazi a platform, bro. Like, it's... Bro, I'm not saying this guy, I think he's just memeing around, right? But, like, yeah, you gave a Nazi a platform. Bro, get this, like, any of this complaining about giving a person a platform shit, the moment that I hear that, I just know to myself that I'm talking to a bitch. I'm talking to a bitch that loves to cry. And that's the first thing. Like, I hear that, I'm done. I stop paying attention to it. I stop thinking about it. I'm done. You don't want to have a conversation. You just want to tell people who you can and can't talk to. It's so annoying.
Liberals have. He takes the piss out of everybody else, and we can hold ours. Okay, that's my report. You can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer. I'm just telling you what I saw, and I wasn't high.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
Damn, missed opportunity.
Yeah, getting high in the White House, that'd be perfect, bro. Like, yeah, exactly. And anyway, no, I think this is really, this is the way it is with a lot of people. I think this is great, right? I mean, it's a great thing. And the more people that are out there talking about stuff and interacting with each other, this is a huge positive. I'm really happy about this. And
he needs more.
Great.
He needs more stuff that makes him look good.
To it, by the way,
because he needs to fucking.
Over. They brought in.
He needs to make the left wing shut their fucking mouths.
That Steve Bannon is Gavin Newsom's Wario. Bro, what the fuck? I don't know how that happened. Like, how'd that even happen? Oh my god. Hold up, wait a minute. Yes, exactly.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Fucking
Let me
shit.
put some
And so anyway, yeah, I did think this was funny. But fuck, now I can't see it. Yes, exactly. And so anyway, no, I think that there are a lot of people. I am so glad to see normal people being willing to have conversations with each other, and like not all of these like rules where it's like these are the people that you can and can't interact with. Like, I think that if you play into those freaks, that's all you're gonna have as part of your audience. You're just gonna have an audience full of weird freaks that want to tell you what to do, man.
Yep, fuck that.
So I'm really glad to see it, man. I'm very happy to see it.
Fuck that. I do what I want when I want, how I want.
Yeah, you
Nobody
have
tells
to
me how to
stop
do
the
anything.
Karens. And hopefully that's just what's going to happen. This is how opposition should be covering. Yeah, of course, you've got to have a conversation with it, etc. It's how like Twitter went mental about Pirate talking to you. Yes, I'm one of the other people that they get really mad about if somebody interacts with me. So like I have a lot of like personal sympathy for this. And for me, I've told people before, like I will have and talk about anything. I don't care. And if people are upset about like a video that I'm watching or something that I'm like getting into or getting involved with, and like they're getting mad that I'm talking about this, I think it's funny. I think it's funny, and they're not worth being taken seriously.
Yep, me too.
The Devil May Cry lovers now hate the show because Addy talked to you. Saw that. They were so mad.
It's ridiculous,
bro.
dude. I know.
It's so funny how much people like that love to cry. But again, on Twitter, the thing is on Twitter is that most of the people that cry like this on Twitter
They're a bunch of
just
retards.
Losers.
Yes, they are.
Really, they're losers. So why would you even take anything they're saying or doing seriously at all?
Exactly. You just fucking ignore them and fucking push forward through your life, dude.
And somebody saying I'm a loser, that's fine. You don't have to take what I'm saying seriously either. But like,
you're only half of a loser.
Like
you're still a left-wing loser, but
here's a good sign. Yeah, exactly. We used to celebrate open dialogue with the opposing side. Yeah, I know. Well, that was a long time ago. But anyway, let's go back. There's even more to this.
All right, he was the White House chief strategist.
Aspen Gold's left-wing. He's been left-wing the whole time. His policies are all left-wing. The only reason why he's right-wing right now is because he knows that he understands that the that Democratic Party is a bunch of troglodyte morons right now, so that's why he's fucking right-wing right now. However, the policies that were on the left represent what the right represents nowadays. Nowadays, the left represents big tech, fucking terrorism, fucking fascism, fucking a bunch of queer shit, and killing babies. That's all it is. And the right is fighting against that.
On YouTube, Piers Morgan. All right, here are the questions.
See, this right here, this is the kind of nightmare blunt rotation lineup that you need for television shows. This is the kind of, like, this right here, this is what you need to have.
Yeah, no shit, this guy would puff, puff, pass. And then this guy would puff, puff, pass. And this guy would puff, 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 pass. And this guy would be like, what the fuck's this shit?
Yeah, this looks like fun, exactly.
Worst one's on the...
From the people, what does the panel think about reports that the Trump administration plans to hold a military parade?
I'm not sure.
On the 250th anniversary of the Army's founding, which also happens to be Trump's birthday. Oh, goody, tanks in the streets, huh?
Oh, God.
Is that a good thing, do you think?
I think it's a fantastic thing.
I completely agree. I hope he does it. It's going to be so fucking funny.
Yes. Government efficiency at work, right? That's what we're spending our defense dollars on, is creating a bunch of...
It's a way to inspire...
Yes, of course. We've got to show... If we're not using the tanks, what else are we going to use them for? Fuck, bro. Like, if we can't have a military parade every once in a while, what the hell's the point?
Yep, pretty much.
As you know, Josh, young men and women to join the military, to see the pageantry like they do in France with Macron, that great July 14th, Bastille Day.
Was there tanks in the street?
There were tanks. Yeah. They do everything.
We do it in the UK all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Tanks in the street.
Yeah, it's always been surprising to me you don't do it.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un loves it. Kim Jong-un.
What a little fucking bitch, bro.
Yeah.
What a crying little bitch.
Yeah, dude.
And
Him,
see, like,
I know. Isn't that Jimmy?
Yeah, what a rat.
Jimmy, Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Kim Jong. But wait a minute.
I hate this dude.
But the
Dude's
bad
a loser.
guy does it, so you're bad if you do. What a fuck, dude. Is this a Karen in disguise? This is a Karen. It might not look like it, but it is.
Russia does it too.
Yeah. Putin, Xi Jinping. Yeah.
Bill, what do you think?
So basically, everybody does it.
Who is that guy?
I don't want America to get used to the sight of tanks in the street.
Wait, what was it? Oh, I just saw it. Overtime, Steve Bannon, Piers Morgan, Josh Rogan. I don't know.
I don't want America to get used to the sight of tanks in the street. That's what I don't. Because once you see
I think we're going to have to.
It becomes normalized.
Well, yeah, of course, man.
What's behind the church-going revival in the UK, particularly among Gen Z?
The left is ruining everything for us, dude. They literally are. Burning down our entire fucking country for the last 10 years. It's fucking pissing people off, bro.
Of migrants, probably. And it's probably because these people feel like they've been displaced in their own country. And so by being displaced in their own country, they go back to old tradition. I feel like that's what would make sense to me. That's what I could expect, yeah.
If you saw the state of our country right now, there's a lot to go and pray about.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing more sinister than that.
Back to tradition? Yeah, exactly.
That's it? Oh.
No, he's not trying to say what it really is. It's the reason because they got a bunch of fucking migrants from random places in the world, don't even speak the language, not part of the culture. They got nothing to do with Britain. They're living there. And then apparently the government won't get rid of them. People are fucking annoyed by it. So you have a lot of young people and like their job prospects, their opportunities in life, they feel has been compromised by all of these migrants that they don't really want in the country either. And so they see it as like a bunch of old people have sold them out for cheap labor from people that hate them. And so, yeah, of course they're going to go back to... This is what I said before about how I think they're going to elect the new Adolf over there, bro. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, shit over there is getting really bad. And y'all think, by the way, y'all think it's not going to happen. Let's find out.
Huh.
No, nothing to do with the UK. They're trying to embed themselves in the government, change the country legally to be like the Middle East. Well, I'm saying, like, regardless of what it is, it's not what these people grew up with, right? That's really what the difference is. You talking about England? Yeah. Well, not England particularly. I think it's going to be some. I think that basically, I'm just going to be honest. I think that a lot of the like the migration problems in Europe, because people aren't able to have a civilized conversation about it and express a degree of trepidation or a degree of distrust or worry with the migration. I think that this will radicalize people so much that they will end up voting for somebody who is extreme. And I think that it's already happening over time. You base that on propaganda?
Not really.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
Well, yeah.
I mean, whatever it's based on doesn't really matter, right? That's what I think is going to happen.
Kids are getting more religious. Is that what's going on?
I don't know. I didn't actually know that was a fact. But I mean, church going generally has been going down.
My daughter's too. Her only religion is Bluey.
Bluey.
Bluey. Oh, that's the dog.
Thank God I don't have kids. What does the panel think of Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin sending an all-female crew and Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez and Gayle King? I know them all, love them all. Hope they're all safe. I'm sure.
F in chat, guys. F's in chat.
They will be to space next week. Is there any scientific merit to this mission? Yes.
No, but you know what? I just think that people that knock any form of exploration. You know, when I was born in '65, first thing I can really remember as an existent human being was the excitement around the rockets going up, right? Yeah. And then it sort of stopped, and you kind of thought, well, are we going backwards? I mean, exploration, space travel, the bold frontiers.
Katy Perry is not exploring space.
No, I know.
Well, she did there was a song she did about it.
I wouldn't go up there, would you? Would you go up there?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't do it in a million years. So I admire the balls. Cheering them on.
No, I'm sure it'll be safe.
Yeah.
But just, I wouldn't go skydiving either.
No.
I wouldn't go skydiving.
Jeff Bezos is my boss, and I support him.
Why would I want to die?
Little crawler.
Why would I want to try to die?
That's the trouble, you see. The trouble is, Josh, you get close to them, and then it starts to take over.
Yeah, guess what, America? Guess what, America? We're all part of the same hypocrisy. All right. Including Steve, including myself. We're all.
Keep me out of it.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah. It's
Too late. Yeah. You're in it. You're in it to win it.
Yeah. No we here.
What a little bitch, bro.
I want to ask you a question.
What a bitch.
Mike Huckabee. You remember him? He is now the ambassador to Israel. Huh? Mike Huckabee. We've had him on the show. If you don't remember, he was the governor of Arkansas. A very religious man.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're sending him to Israel because he's a great friend of Israel. I have a problem with this. You know why people like that are friends with Israel?
Money.
Because when you know who comes back.
Right. The Jews have got to rule Earth under hell, right? That's the.
Or they
idea.
all die.
Or they all die. Either way, it's not really.
Oh fuck! It's one of those Bible things. Oh fuck!
Come
on! Are you kidding me?
They're all fucking.
Oh,
losers.
The rapture! Oh, give me a
Piers
fucking
Morgan.
break.
Okay. I don't know who Josh Rogan is, but
What the fuck are we talking about? Wait, you didn't know that? I didn't know Jews were like in charge of the rapture. No, I had no idea about that.
Damn, they are?
Jesus saves 144,000 Jews.
Right.
That's not a lot of
I don't think I'm going to be.
Wait, that's it?
Oh, there was a lot of back then, yeah.
So, like, does the Bible not, like, it doesn't, like, account for, like, inflation?
In the year fucking zero it was, man.
What?
I don't think I'm going to make the cut, to be honest with you. I'm not
that's why
observant.
Super duper Christians love Israel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying. And now he's.
I thought it was because of money.
Okay. Low flow showers.
Oh.
I'm with Trump on this one. Yeah. No one likes the low flow shower. That's an 80-20 issue. It's good politics as far as I'm
That is an
concerned.
80-20.
Daylight savings time.
Now that one I like. That one I like it to be light in the evening.
Yes.
I'm not a morning person. For all the morning
Me
people
too.
out there, forget you.
But but getting rid of it, don't we have more light in the winter? Yeah. So that's what we want.
No, but get rid of daylight savings time. It gets dark early.
No. What we do now is when it starts to get dark, we move it the wrong way. And now it's dark at like 4 in the afternoon.
Good.
It's stupid.
Should always
That's what
be
he's,
dark.
I think, trying to get rid of. And the penny.
Yeah. He's right about
Well, you got rid of the penny, right?
Well, it's just good politics to pick out, look, no taxes on tips, all these
Yeah, that was a really good
things
one.
that
It's somewhat of a distraction from the ongoing.
I think it's just illegal to make any more pennies.
He said it last week.
Is that coming?
It's
still going to be used
What
as
about the
fucking
tax cut
currency,
for the wealthy?
obviously.
Isn't that coming?
No. It's going to be extended.
We already got
extended
plenty
tax
of
cuts
fucking,
for the wealthy. He's going to no
uh,
tax on
pennies.
tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime.
So you're saying all the donors are about to get a tax hike?
They're already screaming. But he told the Senate that he's open to when extending the tax cuts, not extending.
Oh, open to. So
No. But he's already. I think
he's already.
Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, I think, is working on this. Not to extend it to the upper bracket.
Congress is going to pass that, knowing who they get their money from.
They do whatever he tells them to do.
If President Trump comes in and says that he'll
Okay, so the Steve Bannon plan is that Republicans are going to abandon the donor class, and then what's going to happen in 2020?
Where else are they going to go?
Yeah, exactly. Where else are they going to go?
Exactly. Fuck them. Fuck them. That's why I see it. Yeah.
Whoa.
You got a bunch of money. You can afford to kick.
Fuck
them,
them, but where else are they going to go, though? That's
Like
the question.
the only reason you don't
Like,
have.
what are they going to do?
Come to your house
Because
and
what they're going to do is they're going to figure out another alternative way to doing something in our country that's worse, potentially.
You got to chip in a little bit more.
So what are we?
It's not crazy. Like
what are they going to do? It's a pretty good question, actually.
Just a bit. Like, come on, man. They're stuck. Yeah, where are they gonna go? You gotta.
Oh yeah, sorry. Where are they gonna go? Is a
Why
pretty
can't
good
the middle
question.
class get some?
They're gonna fucking.
Yeah, for real.
They're just gonna keep doing illegal shit, bro. I'm telling you.
Not because they can't afford security. Bro. Like if you, you need a lot of security for that. All of a sudden they're against it. Yeah, you're coping that Trump has cut taxes for the rich. Well, I still, whether Trump does it or not, it doesn't really matter. I want it to happen. I think that rich people should pay more money in taxes. I do. Like that's really what it comes down to for me. Like whether you think like he gonna do it or not, that doesn't really matter. But like, yeah. Agreed? Yeah, exactly. Like that, rich people should free fucking job back. Yeah, exactly. But you're rich? Yeah. No, I'm saying I should pay more money in taxes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
You know, Asmund's not even against fucking paying more taxes either. He don't care.
Class, and then what's going to happen
That's
in
not kind of funny.
Where else are they going to go? We got total leverage over them.
I mean, I don't mind paying taxes either, to be honest.
The midterms and the thing, where else are they going to go? If you don't restore the economic viability of the working class and the middle class, and you have to do that by sealing the border, right? So it's not flooded with illegal alien labor. Number two,
we got to take the people that are hiring the illegal alien labor, and we have to put them
in jail. In prison?
We have to use the judicial process to
Excalibur,
exercise. We're going to put them in jail.
Yes.
We'll put them in jail for human trafficking.
Yep. El Salvador.
That's right.
El Salvador it is.
That's
I think
what
that'd be
do.
perfect fucking.
You might think that sounds extreme.
No.
And I would agree with you.
Nope, it doesn't sound
That's
extreme to me.
If you knew you were hiring illegals, human trafficking. Straight to jail. That's right. They deserve it? Yeah.
Tariffs will bring manufacturing jobs back. And the third is that working class and middle class people need a tax cut. They need no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and most importantly, no tax on Social Security.
Oh,
that's
look at
another
that thing.
$500 billion a year we have to come with. And that's right. By the way, it's going to be a huge fight. But the Democrats and progressives had control in 2021. In those first 100 days, and they put up a taxing the billionaires, and it didn't even get out of committee. President Trump and the MAGA movement will raise taxes on the wealthy.
All right.
They've already said that.
I believe that when the tariffs cause huge inflation, the lower.
I think they're going to raise taxes on everybody, not just the
all the
wealthy.
prices go up.
And I believe that it's going to benefit the country way
so
more.
he doesn't have to acknowledge that anything like this is good.
The more taxes we pay, guys, the
Immediately
more
going on to the
fucking
next thing.
better our
He
country's
going
going
on
to
to
be.
the next thing. It's about the tariffs or whatever. He's
See-
so annoying, bro. He's such a bitch, bro. Like, oh my god, what a pussy. Wow.
Because in 1890, when we had
Because, dude, we need the money to spend. I know you guys don't want to give the government money. We understand that, but if we can do what Trump is trying to do, and that's stop, like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Stop them from but yeah, we can actually save people's lives.
This is a Karen. That's a Karen right
With
here.
the
You're
fucking
looking at
money
a
that
Karen.
we give or get for taxes.
the Republicans lost the House and the presidency.
You should know this, Josh, better than anybody, because when we raised the tariffs on China in 18, prices came down. We didn't have any inflation in 19, and we had the highest tariff ever put on China.
Hey, how about that dire?
But that's what Trump's trying to do, is he's trying to find people that are against or that are like tax fraud, and he's already found like billions of dollars worth, man. Also, like all the money we're giving to other countries, all that money that he's found, dude, it's great. Now the thing is, we need to do something to fucking put these people in jail, though. We need to actually try the people that are in charge of these companies, and that's not happening. And that's the biggest thing that needs to happen. Dude, once we start doing that, bro, it's good. It's good, man. Once that shit starts happening, that won't happen no more, dude. You know? So we need to desperately do that. Desperately do that. Deadass. Oh, yeah. Trying to fucking stream two things at once, sorry.
The direwolf. They brought back a species called the direwolf that was extinct. Using DNA they had in a fossil.
What could go wrong?
I mean, what?
What could go right?
Yeah, dude, we just
I don't know.
learned how to.
Yeah, they're going to do the woolly mammoth next. You know, I think they.
We just learned how to bring back fucking things that have been extinct. That is one of the biggest steps in human history so far. Bringing back extinct animals.
Don't knock it until they. 100 years they bring back Bill Maher from a fossil. Look how great that would be.
Oh, that's good.
They made a movie once about, bringing back extinct species and the risk of it. It's called Jurassic Park. Maybe you've all seen it,
Jesus Christ, what a bitch. And so anyway, the reason why it's important is that it's like, yes, a Triceratops would be important, but also it's a cat girl. And so like Elon Musk said that we can make cat girls. And I think that really the dire wolves are the next step to that. The same as they had the woolly mammoth genes spliced into mice. Like I really feel like we're going in that direction. That's what's happening now.
Yeah, all right. I guess.
This is big. Science that much,
well, but it's not a dinosaur. It's a wolf.
Yeah, but
we know that
it's the first
step.
Yeah,
it's the first step, dude.
Also, by the way, like, what do you mean Jurassic Park's real, bro? Like, somebody has a T-Rex, you just shoot it with a gun. Do you know how stupid these fucking things were? They're so stupid, now you're buying them at KFC for $6.
I know.
If dinosaurs were such a big fucking problem, they wouldn't have turned into chickens. Really? What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna take over the world? They dumb as fuck.
He says it tastes like chicken.
Yeah, see, bro, like, oh my God, like, they lost to Iraq. Yeah, they lost to Iraq. And so anyway, no, I don't know what the hell people are thinking, man. Like, they're out of their goddamn mind.
course
and
they are, brother.
when you put it that way, yeah. See, I'm not worried about a dinosaur. Why the fuck I'd be worried about a dinosaur? Like, absolutely. What if all the dinosaurs vote Democrat? They do. We saw them in the rallies.
I know. Fucking all the old people fucking voting fucking Democrats, dude. Crazy. Bill Mayer. What happened to England? Why? What happened in England? Something going on in England? Something going on.
Telling someone
For the
to
ass man.
speak English.
You may have filmed some of this interaction with the mayor.
Yeah, filming the interaction.
Because if you do, that would be really handy for us. But apparently during some conversations between yourself, apparently you have alleged, we weren't...
Hello, Big!
But you've alleged to say, speak English,
Nah.
or words to that effect. Speak clearly.
No, the gentleman's passed on the death.
Yeah, he can speak clearly. Yeah.
So I couldn't even hear.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
Oh, sure.
What kind of retarded bullshit are they on over there?
I know, seriously.
Holy fuck, where does this come from? What the fuck are y'all doing? What caused this? I'll tell you what caused this.
Karens?
Karens caused this. Karens, complainers, and retards caused this. That's who causes it.
Exactly.
Bro, he thinks it's funny. This guy says, what the fuck?
I believe this. Then we need to look at it, because someone's potentially reporting.
Man, I sure hope nothing bad ever comes of this. I sure hope that the citizens don't go and do the obvious fucking thing that everybody knows they're gonna do, and everything's gonna be worse for everyone because of it. This is insane.
I know.
It's fucking crazy that this is even happening. They are absolutely, like, eventually there is going to be Chancellor Sutler incoming. Yes, they are going to have some super fucking racist right-wing person come into this country eventually, and they are going to win by a landslide. I can guarantee it. Like, this kind of bullshit is not gonna last. So many people are fed up with this.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. And as soon as that happens, it's gonna happen everywhere else too. And so, can't wait to see it. I can. It's gonna be bad.
I can. Yeah, it's gonna be real bad, and I'm not looking forward to it, dude.
That would happen, but the reason why it's gonna happen is because any reasonable conversation about this has been shut down. And so, like, this is the problem, is that when you make reasonable discourse impossible, you make unreasonable discourse inevitable. And so what's going to happen is that these people that are, like, getting charged with this shit and getting in trouble with this shit, these people are going to get radicalized. This is a radicalization moment for a lot of them.
Yep.
And when it happens, guess what? They're not going to be sorry at all.
Nope, they won't.
Yeah, eventually people are going to lose their minds about this, and they're going to get really fucking upset.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't just let it happen. Well, it won't just happen. That's the problem. And people are going to get really fucking pissed. And I bet they already are, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's all fun and games until they organize. Yeah, these people absolutely will organize. And when they do, they will do it with a degree of
uncertainty,
resentment that will shock you. Like, it is going to be like an insane amount of frustration these people are going to have, and it's going to be bad for, I think, pretty much everybody involved. And so, yeah, good. Well, you say good, but this is, I guarantee you, every time that you have an extreme thing like this that happens,
yep,
you know, every action requires or, you know, causes an equal and opposite reaction. It's just going to be stupid in the other direction, right? It's not
Indeed.
like,
Unfortunately,
you know, they're going to vote for somebody and then everybody's going to be smart again, and it's going to be like, you know, the new coolest guy in the UK is Isaac Newton again. That's not what's going to happen. It's just going to be a new brand of bullshit. And so I find it to be very frustrating.
Yeah, I agree.
You
I agree.
One Hitler,
It
you're
is,
gonna have
it is
10 of
fucking
them?
frustrating.
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and stop you right there. I didn't ask for Hitler. Okay, before there's another clip that people are using to call me a Nazi, all right? No, I did not ask for Hitler. I said that they're going to make it happen. That's a very, very different thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, very, very big difference. I'm predicting a Hitler. I'm not asking for one. And I wish that we wouldn't have this happen, because these people, it would have never happened if these people wouldn't let this, would have let it get this far. And that's it. I'll read a few more of these. It'll soon be a hate crime in the UK to be a white Brit. This is the way a lot of people feel. And regardless of whether it's true or not, I think people are going to vote based off of it being a reality. And that's scary for a lot of people. It's very dystopian thing to see an Englishman telling another
13% of the population is
country.
like
Well,
going
I mean,
too
this
far.
Is the same
Black
country
people.
that's burned people for being witches.
Well, black
and stuff,
females,
right?
I should say.
You know, they like they
White
had
females
all
are
kinds
helping
of
out
like
too.
weird
So it's all
religious
females
bullshit.
right now.
This type
They're
of
all fucking
mindset
women,
is
dude.
religion,
You need to
by
go to
the
get a
way.
fucking
It's
grip
the
right
new
now.
religion.
That's why no males
So
want you
all
right
of
now,
this
by the
type
way.
of thinking, etc. This has
And yes, it does
replaced
upset you.
religion
We all know it
in
does.
its entirety. So now everything that people used to attribute to religion, they now go back and attribute to this ideology. The ideology can't be questioned. The people who are acting in favor of the ideology, all of their actions are proactively and retroactively justified because they're doing it against, you know, I guess
Oh, shit, that's
non-believers,
right there.
basically. Doing it against non-believers. And big surprise, whenever you create a system that justifies dehumanizing and treating a certain group of people like garbage, it will eventually be used on you. And that's what's going to happen. And I think that's unfortunately the reality that we're coming into pretty soon. America burnt witches, though? Oh, yeah, we used to love doing that. And I think that we'll probably do it again. But
Maybe.
that's on cooldown. Basically, like, the more that you understand that censorship Karen rhetoric
Ugh.
is the exact same as religious censorship, everything else makes perfect sense. So, for example, a lot of the arguments and a lot of the emotional appeals that are used in order to make people do things today are effectively secularized versions of religious arguments that were used in the 90s and the 2000s. And you're just seeing like a new version of them now, right? I was thinking why they talk just like religious people. Well, the reason why, okay, so I'll explain why. Basically, the reason is because a lot of people need to have a religion in their life. I think that there's a lot of just human beings that need like an ordering principle that decides and helps them understand and process the world, right? And whether this is a religious ideology, whether this is like some extreme political ideology, I feel like if you look at like human history, you'll always find that people tend to gravitate towards.
So I'm
the
pretty sure
ideologies that are like the most pervasive throughout history are the ones that are all-encompassing, oftentimes even transcending life, that allow somebody to order their life and understand it. And so what happens is that when people, like, because of the decline of religion in like Western culture now is seeing like a much more of like a revival of religion. Like, you're seeing a lot more people go to church. You're seeing people that are like more positive about Jesus. And, you know, if you compare this, especially online, if you compare this to, you know, 2012, 2008, right? It was very, very different dynamic, right? Jesus is king. Yeah, I hear this all the time now. And I think that like some of the reasons
because people
why,
are fucking starting to grow up, man.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, like one of the really big reasons why is that it's a cultural thing. And I think religion and culture are like very much intertwined. Like, if you look at, I would assume probably like a lot of Middle Eastern culture is probably either derivative of Judaism or Islam. You look at a lot of Western culture, it's probably derivative of Christianity. And you probably look at, you know, what do you call it? Indian culture, it's probably derivative of, you know, Hinduism. That's just the way it is, right? Of course. And so, anyway, when you have a decline of religion, people, it's not like everybody just decides to open their third eye and see the truth and the reality of the world. No, they just look for another book that they can have tell them the answer to everything in their life. And so that's the reason why you see so many people that are like, you know, these like political people that treat their politics like a religion. It's because for them it fulfills the same purpose.
Yeah, I guess.
Hinduism is more of a seeking than a religion. Well, I don't want to get into details, but what I'm saying is that their belief system, whatever that belief system, is probably intermingled with their laws and like their core culture. Like, that's really what I'm trying to say, right? Again, I'm not really a big fan of religion, but I can respect and acknowledge that a lot of people who are religious, you know, it helps them and it's a positive force in their life. I hate religious fundamentalism, and I hate religious people that try to push their beliefs on somebody else. But I can respect a person who has a religion that they keep to themselves and they don't use as a
Yeah,
weapon
dude.
to oppress
If you
other
want,
people. So like that's the way.
unless it's Christianity, then spread it
that's
around.
pretty much about it, right?
Don't wait in line. Beat the deadline with tax experts by your side. Get matched with an expert who can file your taxes as soon as today. The IRS deadline is April 15th. Hand off your taxes to an expert today.
Here we go. It's a little better.
So this is nuts. Look at this.
This, to me, is one of the most shocking pieces of poll data that I truthfully have seen this year, or maybe in any prior year.
Really?
Yes, really, because I want you to take a look. Cares more about the needs for people like you. You mentioned the Cape Ball, and we got a tie, even after this tariff war had already started, split between Democrats and Republicans on how people feel.
This is wild.
Which party
This on
cares
CNN, too.
more for needs of people like you. And why is that so surprising? Because I want you to take a look at prior years. Democrats always lead on this question. Back in 2017, before the 2018 midterm.
That's a crazy correction, too. Like a plus 19, a plus 23 in terms of percentages. Think about a percentage. A 13% drop is nuts.
13-point lead. 2005, a 23-point lead for Democrats. 1994, which was a big Republican year, a 19-point lead for Democrats. And now, all of a sudden, a tie? All of a sudden, the Democrats, who are the party of the people, no more. We get a tie on this question, on a question that has traditionally overwhelmingly been a Democratic advantage. People which party cares more for the needs of people like you? It's truly something I would not have expected to see, especially after this tariff war had begun.
Where does it show that Republicans are making the most gains?
Yeah, again, you talk about party of the people. Look at this. Cares for the needs of people like yourself. Look here, we got non-college, we got those with a college degree.
Yeah.
And those with a college degree, it's the same score. Plus 18 points for Democrats in 2017.
This is how it's
plus
been
18
forever.
points for Democrats now.
Gen
But
Z
look
men,
among
yeah.
non-college voters. Look here. It was plus 7 for Democrats in 2017.
Literally the poor
and now
versus the rich,
Republicans
dude.
have
That's all it is. That's all the difference.
gain. Plus 9 points.
That's
That
nuts.
is, the gains have been concentrated. At least
Because you think about that, like, I mean, you go plus 7 to plus 9, or minus 7 to plus 9, like, that's 16-point differential. That's
True.
huge.
Yeah,
That's a
last
massive
decade,
differential.
among voters without a college
That's
degree,
a big
the
deal,
working
dude.
class,
Huge.
that is where Republicans have gained, even since the beginning of the
The
Donald
reason why this happens is because a lot of people that work in trades are sick of being talked down to by somebody that works in an accounting department.
Exactly.
That makes half their salary, that thinks that they're smarter than them because they went to school and they've got $100,000 of student debt.
Exactly.
That's the reality,
Thank
is
you.
People are
Yes.
sick of being talked down to by people that think that they're smarter than you because they went to college to learn some bullshit.
Yep.
That's the real reason.
Exactly.
Filing your taxes is easy with Free Tax USA. Taxes can be a chore, but at Free Tax USA, we make it simple. No matter how complicated your situation is, we provide accurate, easy-to-use software to help you file quickly. Time-saving features like W-2 importing and IRS e-filing are included with every return. Best of all, federal returns are free for everyone, and state returns are under $20. Simplify your taxes. Start your return with Free Tax USA today.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I first ditched big wireless and started using Mint Mobile way back in 2019.
Asshole. We all know this, dude.
Trump administration, the Democratic base is now.
The Democratic Party is the party of patronizing college people and fake authority people that constantly talk down to everybody else, and they want everybody to listen to them and just respect their authority that they have appointed themselves with. Yes, they're Karens, right? The party of Karens. It's the HR. Like, the Democratic Party is the HR department. Big surprise. Most people don't like that.
Why would
those
anybody
with a
like
college
this?
degree,
Are
among the working class, those without a college degree.
These polls are pure bullshit. How do you know that the people participating in any of these polls? I'm sure a true poll would be in favor of the Republican Party.
Oh.
I don't know.
Republicans have overwhelmingly gained on this all-important question
of course
which
bro.
party cares more for people like yourself.
Your reference points are, as you were pointing out, just before a midterm election. So obviously, let's kind of look at that. Where do things stand for the fight?
Should we play Bloodborne?
Right, okay, so
Guys,
you have this question right, and then there's the question ultimately:
After this
are
game,
Republicans
this
going to get
game's
punished
done,
in this midterm election? In part because that's normally what happens, the party in power gets punished, but also because of this tariff war. And I want you to take a look here at the generic congressional ballot. Where we were in April of 2017, Democrats were already ahead by 7 points. In November of 2024 on this question, it was a tie, and then, of course, Republicans won control. Where are we now? It's Democrats, but just by a point. This looks very much still like what we saw in 2024, not like what we saw.
They need to get out of this hall monitor shit. Like, the moment that I hear somebody talking about some kind of fucking identity issue, some social issue, trying to, like, use it in soapbox, that's over, bro. Like, people are fed the fuck up with this. Like, they are fed up with getting dictated by Karens. They have shit people told them, Karens telling you what to do. They protest or Karen Fest?
Yeah,
exactly,
dude.
they are.
Nobody likes
I
Karens
can't stand
anymore.
it. I vote against
Yeah,
these
that's
people.
serious, bro.
Even the thing is that I just hate a bunch of bitches that want to go and tell me what to do.
Oh, dude, I know.
It's actually that fucking simple.
I know.
I don't want to have a bunch of people sitting around telling me what the fuck to
Where's
do.
the girls telling
Telling
you
me what I can say, telling
Especially
me what
after
I
they
can't
tell you
say.
your whole life
So
that you
trying to
fucking
patronize
you're
me and
ugly
be like,
and you
oh,
fucking
this
amount
is
to
it.
nothing.
You're against protesting?
you,
No,
you're
I'm not
fucking-
against protesting. You can protest all you want. But the problem is that these people also are trying to protest and tell you that you can't say the word retarded. Like, guys, you look at a Venn diagram between
Retarded.
these two groups, it's a fucking circle.
Boom.
I don't want to have somebody telling me what words I can and can't say.
Fuck no, dude.
That's it. It's a
Fuck.
gotcha. That is a gotcha. Let's go perm ban him. Great idea. Great idea. Good point. I lost him. Yep, he got away. Can't win them all, boys. Can't win them all. Anyway, so yeah, no, this is really the reason. And you want to know the real reason why this shift happened? It's that learn the code bullshit. It's that patronizing, oh, well, we're going to ship your manufacturing job over to another country so it can be done by a sweatshop worker or an 11-year-old. Well, pretty much the same thing. And now we're going to patronize you and say, like, it's too bad.
In
That's the reason
2017,
why.
if Democrats think they automatically have a ticket back to control of the House, I'd say, hold on a second, Republicans still have a real shot at this, despite all of Trump's theatrics over the last month with this tariff war.
What theatrics?
There
He
really is
hasn't done
interesting
anything.
information coming out in this that you're pulling out. Thank you, Harry.
Thank
He
you.
hasn't really done anything
think
bad,
it's
dude.
Kate agrees.
He's just trying to point out that fucking China has been doing bullshit crap, dude. Transactions, man.
Like, nobody is thinking that, like, this is something that matters whenever the focus is always in, like, these really weird wedge issues about social stuff. That's it. And so in censorship, yeah, exactly. Like, normal people don't want to be censored and told what they can and can't say on social
Exactly.
media. Normal people don't want to have their reality dictated to them by somebody who's decided that they are, that they understand reality better than they do. And you want to know the real reason why there's so much damage done to, like, that credibility? Is because of
people are
COVID.
retarded.
You can't spend 4 years
Being
saying,
honest,
or 2 years
people are
saying,
retarded, bro.
oh, well, this is what the authorities say. You have to listen to the authorities, and then the authorities are constantly wrong.
I know,
You
seriously.
can't have that happen. Like, if you spend 2 years with that messaging, what ends up happening is people just stop believing it. That's it, 100%? Yeah, exactly.
A little bit.
Democrats
I
act too
mean-
high and mighty? They do. They absolutely do. And it's that patronizing high and mighty shit. Yeah, they're crying wolf, and we know all the wolves are dead. Yeah, exactly. It boils down
No,
to an
that's
attitude
okay.
problem. Democrats are in this position because they default to tolerant to crazies. Well, they advocate for them, right? Like the trans and sports shit. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, you can't tell me that you're the party of science when you want trans men to compete against women.
I know, seriously.
That's it. You can say that you're the party of science, or you can say that you're okay with it.
Yep.
You can't do both.
You cannot do both. I know, the super against women, or super against men, but, want fucking men in women's sports. Like, which one do you want, bro? Do you want men? Do you want women to come out on top, or do you want fucking men to come out on top? Like, which? Because what you're doing is making fucking men come out on top, man. Like, you know this. You know this, man. You know it, I know it, we all fucking know it. We can see it. We can all fucking see it. One sec. Let's see what we can find now. Democratic Party will go extinct. Bungie's new game is a mess. What's their new game? Let's take a little deviation.
This is the reveal. This is the big reveal. Big game. Huge game. One of the biggest games. Bit of a bias. Bungie fan. Played a lot of Halo back in the day.
Me too, man.
Is that on the moon?
So it's a space game?
Uh-oh.
Okay. It's taking a piss, fucking?
That was cool. I like that.
Here, it's all AI. It's all AI art. Not bad, huh?
That's cool.
Man, games are gonna be purely AI made soon. It's gonna be crazy.
We stand a chance if we stay united in our efforts.
Okay. What is this game called?
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that it's well those passions red which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, lifeless things. And the heart that fed.
I think the character design is pretty weak.
Yeah.
I actually think that the world building and like the atmosphere of the game is really good.
Yep, but the character's
But,
stupid.
like, I'm making a lot of comparisons in my head right now with like this and the Death Stranding 2 trailer. And
Yeah.
like, it's really hard to be as good as Kojima. But like outside of this character design, I think that it at least reminded me of that. But these characters just look like
dog shit.
Toys. The design isn't. It doesn't have any edge to it. I just don't like it.
Yep, plasticky, yeah. It looks like plastic.
I wouldn't
Cause
make
look at how good the fucking look at how good the everything else is, and then look at the character models. Dog shit.
game for that reason, but that's just my opinion. Like, this is like, it's okay, right? But like, if you go and you compare this to like the level of quality of the Kojima characters inside of Death Stranding 2, you just really you're looking at two different types of situations. And I think that like a characters being aesthetic and looking good is a prime value. You need that. You have to have that, and this is just not really there. They look too clean. They do, and like so. Let me get a bit farther before I start going on tangents.
Welcome once again. Once again. Answer you shall.
Like this is okay. I think this is a decent design.
No.
I mean, it feels just like what it is, right? Like $1 trillion. Like $1 trillion. Sakaguchi Genetics sent a reminder. Your shell
it's like fake, kinda.
Because like you can see, like I mean, you've clearly got like a convergence here between like, you know, again like the Kojima Death Stranding aesthetic.
It's like
and,
real
like,
slash AI.
You know, I mean, you look at like this. This is kind of like Lucy from Cyberpunk and like the anime. But I'm just not. Am I crazy? I just don't think it has that edge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Do you mind if we skip the formalities this time? Got a big contract waiting down there, so.
Understood. Let's proceed with your grounding exercise. Are you familiar with this item?
It looks fake, like you can't get into it.
Yeah. It's supposed to be my lucky charm.
Yeah, it looks... It's like fucking 5 FPS already now, dude. Not gonna lie, it didn't look that good to me. It's okay though. Game looks like shit, to be honest.
Can you identify her?
It looks like shit, to be honest, brother.
That's my mom. That's your mother. Your mother.
Now, consider this. Do you recognize this child?
Is that her?
Who are you? I don't know.
It's you.
What? Really?
Really? And me? Oh, no way.
That sequence is like a good example of when show don't tell would have been probably a better way to demonstrate like what that was.
Yeah.
I think that if there was like almost no dialogue there, it would have been a lot better. I think that in a lot of cases, like that's true, is that less dialogue is better.
Yep.
Hey, what's that you always tune into? Worth anything?
I don't know, but I like it. It speaks to me.
Let me listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that there's like a degree of like a style clash where you have like, you know, Unreal 5 hyper realistic backgrounds with like these cartoonish, almost Fortnite style objects and characters. It's not a big deal, right? Like, I'm just kind of talking about it.
You ever wonder what happened to these people?
It's not my business.
And this music is. You'll have a tough time finding a buyer.
Good. It's not for sale. Give it to me.
It's an extraction shooter, by the way.
Just not doesn't look that good. Yeah, this is making me sick, dude. Yeah, dude, that shit made me fucking ill, dude. Dude, this shit makes me dizzy, bro.
That was good.
And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain. Round the decay of that colossal wreck. Round the decay of that boundless wreck. Boundless, alone and level sands stretch far away.
Look at this fucking shit, dude. It makes me fucking sick, bro. Watching this shit, dude.
This child.
Is that me?
Is that it?
Man.
Okay, well.
I think that a lot of the negative sentiment for this is that this should have been an 11. It's a 7. It's a 7 or an 8. But this should have been an 11. Because, like, I can see, like, inside of this, that, like, if you gave this to a person that was, like, in my opinion, a little bit more deranged or creative, I actually think this trailer would have been fucking phenomenal. This trailer felt like it was an advertisement for a Kojima game.
Yeah, I know.
But it didn't have Kojima. That's the way that I feel about it. And, like, it's almost really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, like, the aesthetic and, like, the vibe of it
sucks.
It's really interesting because, like, especially at the beginning of
Look at
this,
that.
this
The
was
world looks
really,
great.
really good.
The world looks really cool. The fucking aesthetic looks great. The fucking character models look like dog shit. It's making me visually ill when I can look at it. My God.
Like, I really like this a lot. And then as soon as they started introducing the characters, it just, I felt like it turned from something that had like a certain degree of like gripping interest, and it just turned like kind of weird. Character design's horrible. Yeah, and cool.
It's like cartoony for like a Skyrim game. You know what I mean? Like it's like a. It feels like what's the best way I can do it? How can I say this? It feels like you're playing Schedule 1 in GTA. It feels like you're playing the Schedule 1 guy in GTA 5. That's what this new game Marathon, is that what it's called? Bungie's new game. That's what it reminds me of. Like you're playing fucking Schedule 1 characters in fucking GTA 5.
Trailer, but it felt hollow. Yeah, it did. And so,
yeah, that's a.
I mean, I'm not as negative about the trailer as a lot of other people are, but I can see why people are so negative.
Today's actually a really exciting day because we got to unfold one of these units right in front of a crowd of people full of nonprofit organizations, large donors around the Oklahoma City area. Everybody's pretty excited about what we're putting out here. This is the first time they've seen it. Some of them have seen it before, and they're still in awe just as much as they were when they saw it in a video or a post. And maybe even more so when they get on site, they get to go inside, they get to feel what the space feels like. You know,
there we go. That's exactly.
The ceiling is taller than normal, so
this game's character models make me think of playing Schedule 1 characters in
all the
GTA 5.
necessities that you need in this unit: bathroom, living room, kitchen, full-size kitchen, all full-size appliances. It's a pretty amazing setup, and we're happy to.
That's what I that's
And
how it
there's
makes me
something
think.
that's like very uncanny about the characters, and it makes it look like they aren't really kind of supposed to be there.
Exactly.
And it's hard for me to describe, I think. But yeah, looks plastic. Yeah, but like that I want to say something more than that, right? So people are negative because it's the cool thing to do. Nothing is okay in this world anymore. The art direction's not cohesive, it clashes, and it doesn't pass the vibe check. I mean, I guess, like, I mean, yeah, I definitely think, like, which is weird, because, like, am I the only person who thought that, like, the first, like, 2 minutes of this trailer was absolute cinema, in my opinion. Like, this was, like, fucking amazing. This was so good.
Yeah, it was okay.
I really liked it a lot.
No, I just don't like the character
it just
models.
kind of got weird with these characters. Yeah, no, I mean, that's it. And there's a lot of people who haven't really liked the character design. Marilyn Manson vibes are putting me off, not interesting. I can see why you say they stand out, but in the way the Polygon character in Resident Evil stood out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing we play as the newly produced bots. The woman interview robot does it to check if the bot is stable. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I think that there's definitely a lot of, like, I mean, overall, like, after watching this trailer, would I be encouraged to buy this game?
No.
The answer, if you want me to be honest, is yes. Yes, I think that this is good enough that I would probably buy the game based off of this.
For real, dude?
And also, like, I have pretty low standards for games, and I'd pretty much try it out, see what it's like. That's kind of the mindset that I usually have. Try it out,
Good
see
for
what
you,
it's
man.
like, and if it's
Go right ahead,
stop
buddy.
playing it.
That's cool.
But I think that for people that have
That's
like, a lot
cool.
less free time than I do, and maybe even also disposable income, because it'll cost money. The game will cost money, I think it's $40 or something like that. Then I think that they're going to exercise more discretion than I will. It's artsy, though. Well, like, the thing is that it's artsy, but it's artsy in a way that I think is indulgent, and it's not exciting. Like, again, if you compare this, I think it's a great way to look at this is to compare it, is like this trailer here, right? Like,
ooh, baby, I love this game.
These two have, like, very much the same energy. And maybe I'm crazy, but, like, I think so.
I think it's...
And you can see, like, with a character like this, for example, there's something about this that's, like, more compelling and interesting. Just in terms of the design. And I'm not talking about, like, the graphics quality. But like, it's just more compelling and interesting. A lot of the character design, actually, this is a good way for me to put it.
Really?
Some of the character design in this game, it reminds me a lot of when you first get Photoshop and you apply every single like filter to text to make it look as cool as possible. But then you realize it's like hard to read and see what's going on with it.
Well,
Does that
yeah,
make sense?
I guess.
Like you guys did this whenever you were kids, right? Yeah. It's over design. That's their goal. Well, if that's their goal, they succeeded. And so anyway, that's basically it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gameplay trailer.
At Mint Mobile, we're always looking for innovative ways to save you money, so you can keep paying $15 a month for premium wireless.
Come on, baby boys. I feel like I'm getting shadow fucking banned at fucking Twitch, man. Or YouTube. Look at how shit the fucking... Look at that shit. Look at how crap it looks. Look at how bad it looks, dude. That looks terrible! Dude, it looks terrible! Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. So bad, dude. It's terrible.
Marathon is a team-based extraction shooter set around the mysterious and cutthroat
That's gay.
world of Tau Ceti
That
4.
sucks, man.
You are a runner, a cybernetic mercenary who's given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats, capable of both
I wish I could do that.
and fast-paced combat. Here you'll fight in a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. You'll face rival runners in zones of up to 18 players, countless security forces, and otherworldly threats.
This is okay.
To scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The environments of Tau Ceti 4 are filled with weapons, materials, and equipment you can scavenge throughout the map.
Okay, yeah. Makes
Before
sense.
deploying, you'll strategically build your loadout and select a runner to ensure you're equipped for the run ahead.
Yep.
Your objective is
So your runner, so this is also class-based, by the way.
Well, yeah,
So,
of course
the
it is.
characters are like, it's like I don't know like how much of a class base it is, but yeah, it's Apex. Yeah, I think it's seemingly kind of like Apex. Yeah.
Get in,
Archetypes,
gather as
yeah.
much loot as you can, and make it out alive. Die, and all your gear will be up for grabs. Survive, and your loot can be taken into future runs as you grow in power and fill your vault. Death is
Wow.
inevitable, but it's never the end. Think quickly on your feet and outplay your opponents, and in your next run, you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top. And even if you're down on your luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout, so you can get right back into the fight.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of
Bungie
cool.
brings
I
its
like that too.
best-in-class first-person multiplayer action to the forefront. Dynamic and tactile gunplay, runners with unique playstyles, and customizable builds create highly dynamic and strategic team fights. Whether you're on a zero-to-hero run or high-rolling with powerful gear, you'll need to use your best judgment when you decide which fights to pick.
So fucking
and how.
stupid though. It looks so bad.
Because no matter how
Look at
good
it.
you are, players with skill and strategy will always have the edge. Marathon is designed to be played in crews, with contextual pings, shared objectives, and down but not out, to streamline playing with your friends.
I'm not
Death
sure if making people play in a group is a good thing.
is not the end.
Yeah, definitely
Before
not.
the last
I
one
hate that
standing,
shit. That's
you
why
can
all
overcome
fucking
the odds to revive
single,
your teammates and get out
straight multiplayer games are fucking failures.
If
Exactly
you believe
why.
your skills alone are enough to conquer any challenge, we give you the freedom to
Oh,
opt out
baby, I love you
to take all the glory for
every
yourself.
day.
Yeah, the same as Dark Walker.
No two runs in Marathon ever play out the same. With dynamic events, variable weather, and unpredictable players, you'll have to adapt on the fly if you want to survive. Each run has a time limit, and anything can happen while you're chasing your objective. Looking to unlock upgrades or increase your faction reputation? Slip into the shadows as Foy goes past your enemies. Search the map for rare materials and profit opportunities without being
so
discovered.
bad, dude. Look at it. It's so
Want to
bad,
push
dude.
enemy teams and steal their loot? Bring in Glitch with agility implants and your strongest weapons.
That's kind of cool.
To disrupt rival crews.
Yeah, it's a little cool.
Running support for your friends. Grab extra equipment, shield charges, and a specialized backpack to be the lifeline they need. You're always free to experiment with team compositions, and the only limit to how you want to play your runner is your loot and
His
imagination.
name's John Marathon.
Endgame challenges, ranked play, discovering secrets, seasonal storytelling, community events, and more all await you in Season 1, where you and your friends will start to unravel the mysteries of Tau Ceti 4.
Yeah, dude.
You're only ever one run away from your next big score.
Bunch of fucking losers. Making stupid fucking shooter games again, dude. Stop making crap games, dude.
All right, we got one more. Let's take a look at it. All right, this is a gameplay reveal. Let's watch this one.
He's not impressed.
This one got really bad ratings. Here we go.
No, really? Dude, it's so fucking mediocre. It's not even funny, bro. So fucking mediocre, bro.
A Marathon was their old game. They made it for the Mac back in the 90s. A lot of people probably don't know that. It was a real long time ago. It was before they made Halo. That's kind of cool.
The end of all things.
Not really.
But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours. Now.
This is, I like that. That's cool.
What's cool? Let's see it.
This is, I like that. That's cool.
Okay.
That was cool too. I think what really matters the most, and this is what. I'll just let it finish.
It's just so lame, bro. Just looks so lame, bro.
Gotcha, bitch. So, thoughts on the game, opinions, etc. What do I think? I'm gonna just play when while I talk about it. Actually, you know what? I think it was there was a video of like Shroud talking about it. I'll listen to what he says too, because he's like, you know, the guy, right?
This is the epitome of what happens every single time. You come in, whether you're a AAA dev or an indie or whatever,
Yeah.
you try to come into an extraction game and you try to make it and you try to remove the friction.
Okay.
There's a lot of
He's
friction.
gonna say that the friction is what makes the game interesting.
In a game like Tarkov. There's a lot of like
And by
complexity
removing it, it's gonna be an
and
empty
things
experience, I bet.
That might not want you to open up the game ever.
Yeah.
Hundreds of bullet types.
Mhm.
Thousands of individual items. Quests that don't tell you at all where to go.
Yeah.
No map.
Yeah.
I mean, the weapon attachment system is like, what am I doing? Right? So much friction. There's so much friction to play Tarkov.
Yep.
Most people don't even open that game. But that friction is what makes the game so popular to its core audience.
Yeah, I guess.
It's weird.
Path of Exile
Yeah.
has the same situation.
Yeah, everybody's got their own loyal fan base.
Or
We know.
AAA dev, whatever. And you want to remove the friction? Great. You remove the friction, the game is smooth, the game's easy to play, anyone could just click play and just be right in it. But they only play for a couple weeks or a month, and then they're like, well, there's nothing left to learn. Well, yeah, that's because you just removed all the friction. All the friction's gone. All the tooltips. Like, for example, a perfect example is this, yeah?
It's like buying fucking
on this screen,
loot
you
in
see
games,
every
dude.
single item and its value.
Yeah.
You don't learn the value as a player. You instantly are told what it's worth. That
He's right about this. Is that that's like a vector of difficulty
$20,
that the player then
$50?
achieves that's taken away from them when there are values assigned. He's right.
is a developer coming in and saying, we're going to remove the friction and remove the complications of, like,
I get it.
the complexity of, like, seeing an item and being like, what is this?
Yeah,
We're just
no,
gonna
I
tell
get
you
it,
what
I get
is.
it.
It's worth $1,000. That's it.
Yeah.
Great if you're playing the game for the first time. Bad if you're playing the game for
50th time.
the 1,000th time.
Yeah.
Because what makes extraction shooters good and interesting
You're
is
dynamic.
giving that player the
The
knowledge, the
opportunity,
tools
yeah.
to, like,
Mix-
learn the
mix
game
and match.
themselves, figure out what a pack of
Do
cigarettes
that.
is
Do
for.
their own thing. Chicken wing.
And I
pretty
know
much.
it's really stupid, and nobody thinks like that. Most people.
No.
Actually, a lot of people
most
can think like that, Dudesky.
patrician game developers understand and respect this. That's why you look at, like, you know, like the way that Miyazaki designs games like Elden Ring, and the way that Classic WoW was designed, is that it's designed with these things in mind. And there's like an element of good friction and bad friction. And one of the best examples of what do you call it? The best examples of like this being bad is like retail WoW, especially during like the Legion BFA era, where developers knew that friction was needed in order
One
to
sec, guys,
create
I
a
gotta
good
look up something.
experience, but they couldn't intuit what that friction was and why it was valuable. Bad friction equals world quests. Now, what makes extraction shooters fun is absolutely murking fools and the stress of getting out with your loot. Yeah, but there's like different, like, so, like game knowledge, player knowledge, and everything. And this is something that's like, this might sound weird, but bear with me for a minute. Making knowledge more of a component of the game makes it easier for hardcore players to maintain relevancy
Well,
without
duh.
having to have like Twitch reactions and keep up with the skill cap of the game.
Yeah, I guess.
Because like a good player can still outmaneuver a better player if they have high game knowledge.
Nah. I
People are
suppose
like,
so.
just tell me what the pack of cigarettes are for, man.
Mm-hmm.
But what's fun about extraction shooters is when they don't tell you.
Yeah, I think also like making everything kind of a mystery that's discovered is very important.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
that's
kind of
true.
completely agree with Shroud here, and I think that in general, the gameplay for this seems okay, right? I mean, like, I think that really what's going to define this game as being good or not
is whether or not
isn't anything that we can
people
really
fucking
see and observe right
like
now in
it.
the trailers.
If it's woke or not.
I
Let's be
think that,
honest.
like,
Right
we're
now,
really
if
gonna
it's
have to
woke or
play
not.
this game and see how the different missions are, because a big problem that a lot of like BRs and games have is that after you do a few runs, it feels like every single run is the same. And like the game that really does the best job at fighting against this is Fortnite. Fortnite does an incredible job at always reinventing itself and creating new metas and new ways of playing the game. And I think that if you compare that with other games, like, for example, Warzone or even PUBG to a lesser extent, the meta for the game is pretty much discovered, and the way of playing optimally is pretty much discovered quickly, and then it's kind of over. And I think that's really what the problem is. Watch the cinematic. Oh, I already saw the cinematic, exactly. And Fortnite removed friction in BRs. Well, Fortnite removed certain types of friction in BRs, but it added other friction. So, like, it removed the friction of finding weapon attachments, but it added the friction of building. So, like, there was like, no net change. And if anything, Fortnite has more friction because of the different, like, difficulties, right? But I think that really a game like PUBG, the reason why PUBG was really popular too, is because you could be kind of mediocre at the game, but you could still come out ahead if you knew what you were doing. And I think that's really the difference that a lot of these games don't really have now, is that they don't have ways. A lot of these games kind of get caught by like sweat entropy.
Okay.
Where you have people that start playing the game really seriously. And because they're playing it so seriously, they completely dominate lobbies. And when they're dominating these lobbies, average players can't come into the game and succeed or do anything.
He's right, though.
And so that's
right.
really, I think, where the big problems are, is that, like, you need to have games that find ways to overcome that skill entropy. And I don't think that skill-based matchmaking is the solution to that. I think it's one tool that you can use. But the problem still remains, is that when somebody gets outplayed on like such a massive level, especially whenever there's like different like levels of complexity like Fortnite, people like that get discouraged and they lose interest. And so I think really we're going to have to play this game and see kind of like what the use case for the game actually is, rather than just kind of writing it off. Because I feel like Dark and Darker is a really great example of this, is that I don't know if I ever told people this, I know it's Tips did, is that we actually declined Dark and Darker for the OTK Games Expo, the first one that we did, because we thought the game was garbage. And there are a lot of games that look like garbage, but they're actually really fun to play.
But it's not
there's
anymore.
also the opposite of games that look amazing, but they play like garbage. For real, yeah, big mistake there, right?
Dark and Darker
my
was
point is that
pretty popular for like 4 days, and then it was
and
like.
I'm very, very concerned about this. I am like worried that, you know, they're not really going to understand what makes this genre interesting.
I know.
And again,
I know.
like, I'm speaking
I know.
kind of as an outsider for this, because like I'm not like a really big like extraction
Advocate.
shooter guy.
Yeah.
I generally don't like games where you can make negative progress. It's just demotivating for me, just personally. But in a general
Negative
sense,
progress.
this is the way that I feel about it. You missed a gameplay video, watch the raw footage. Oh yeah, well anyway, I can look at least a little bit of the raw footage. Like I don't want to go through like everything, but we can go ahead and at least look at some of it, right? And so, yeah, this is just some of the gameplay here, right? And so, game subjects, alpha states that have changed. Yeah, not really a big surprise. These are the different characters that you're playing, right?
Everything is breakable. So let's break it.
Yeah, it does feel like they basically turned... Like, they've made it very much into Void looks badass.
It does.
I don't think
It's
that
okay.
any of the characters are really that interesting or cool. Like, honestly, if I look at this... Oh, it doesn't work with this. If I look at this right here, what game do you think this reminds me of?
Fucking Cyberpunk. You already said that.
We all know. It's Concord, right?
Oh,
This
okay.
is some Concord level design. It
Oh
is.
yeah. Because it's dog shit. Okay. I don't know Conquer that well. 'Cause I don't play it. It is that bad. Yes, I agree. It's definitely that bad. Yes, it's dog shit. We know.
Sorry, but that's the truth. Is this game gonna be the next really big game?
No.
No. I think if it's designed in like a really good way, it could be really popular. But
let's be honest,
it's not like crazy amazing. It just seems like kind of okay, right?
It's mediocre as
The
fuck,
game isn't
dude.
free to play, it's doomed. Yeah, and this is another component to it, is that
It's
and
not
if
free.
I look up Marathon, here we go. Marathon is Alpha's application, completely unnecessary gender identity question. It doesn't matter, male or female. So we'll look at some of the people and like what people have been talking about with the game, because obviously that matters a lot too. And so anyway, you've had a lot of people that have been pretty negative about it, right? This is beautiful, this is not. I mean, again, making characters that look really weird like this, I do think it's over-designed in a way that doesn't really appeal to anyone.
No kidding.
No kidding. Right is kind of hot. Yeah, I don't know about that. Really kind of depends. But like in a general sense, I think that Western game developers, and this is just like a huge problem, Western game developers are like almost afraid to make conventionally attractive female characters.
I know.
And so they make these characters
Stupid,
that have
dude.
like
It's
kind of like a
fucking
very
stupid.
like this is like a rave girl personality or some other variation of that, and they're not just using a traditional, you know, you take a hot girl with decent proportions with a pretty face and just go with that, right? And so right, it's very androgynous. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the female characters that are made in like Western development studios do have like an androgynous vibe to it. And I find it to be kind of off-putting.
Yep,
and I
me
think
too.
it's like it's
Me
really
too.
a big shock when you see it
It's
compared to like
it's
something
ugly
like
as
Marvel
fuck.
Rivals, because I think Marvel Rivals the style, quality, and everything is just a lot better. Like this is okay,
It's
but I just don't
ugly.
really see this being. I don't see this being appealing. Right? Like I mean, it this isn't like. I don't see people wanting to cosplay these characters. I don't see people like really being that interested in them at all. They don't have like a they're not compelling in a way. So yeah, I mean, I think that's like that's the main thing that I usually go by is like,
Ugly.
are the people like will people cosplay these characters? Maybe this one a little bit, but probably not even that. And so some of the other armored characters are pretty decent, and you see like a lot of comparisons of this as well. But
I think it
yeah,
sucks.
just I just yeah. If you want a hot girl, just make one. Yeah, it's just not. It's a little bit weird, right? And people will cosplay Concord characters as a joke. She looks like Yolandi Weiser, the one in Die Antwoord, I think.
I think they need to just stop making
if you're-
fucking
if I'm
retard
thinking of the person you're thinking of.
content and fucking
But
make
yeah,
good shit, dude.
that's. I mean, I can see why you say that for sure, but. And John Concord, yeah, exactly right.
They would stop troglodyting, dude.
Just okay. Anyway, so
I mean, Gooch
in
is-
general, I think that the character design
It
is
sucks. Dog shit.
Again, I can definitely see why people are comparing it to Concord. It's very, it's like it's weird in a way.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it's like I don't know why like American game studios have such like I think the reason why, and like maybe this is just like me, like, you know, every problem looks like a nail, but like I think the reason why is because they don't want to push traditional beauty standards with games, and so they try to create these like weird androgynous characters that are still compelling, and I just think
guess.
that doesn't land with a lot of people.
I
It
think they
doesn't
just
land
need
with
to stop
people, it
being
doesn't
woke.
resonate with anyone.
Let's be honest.
And I think it's weird. There's no grit to
Of course
it.
it
Yeah,
is.
exactly. And it's like if you, like in my opinion, like there are some exceptions, but I think that as a general rule, if you can't tell what gender a character is,
Then it's failed.
You've made a mistake.
Yep. Dead ass.
You've made a mistake. It's nobody wants to see that. People are not interested in that. Like, yeah, you should have some femboys and some some, you know, like femboys and tom girls. Like, yeah, for sure, a little
Yeah,
bit. But in a
like
general
one.
sense, it's just not something people are very interested in.
Pretty much.
Their bots. Well, I'm not really saying about the bots. Well, what about yourself? There are no gender? No, people identify and they're going, like, these characters are absolutely gendered characters. And this is the problem. It's
This
like
is
if
their
you- the
whole,
fact
like,
that you
dude.
think that there's even a discussion about that shows that there's a big problem. These are absolutely gendered characters, and
Exactly.
everybody is going to play it with that mindset like in the front of their mind.
Exactly.
And so if you don't do that, yeah, 2B's an android, but people can tell what gender she is. Yeah, exactly, right? And so again,
she is.
I just think that if you make characters like this, they're going to be very unappealing, and people aren't going to really resonate with them at all, and it's off-putting. And I think that's another really big component to it that a lot of people might not understand.
Nobody cares about trans people, dude. Nobody cares.
Weird,
Nobody cares.
Like this, for example, I think this is like kind of fine, but like in general, if they see a character design that looks weird, they won't want to play the game.
Yep.
That's it.
He's dead. He's not wrong either, dude. He's not fucking wrong, which is sad.
Exactly.
But,
and again, like I think that pretty much every single circumstance, it's always a bad idea to make characters that are not conventionally attractive. Because this is, again, this is a shooter game.
It happens.
And shooter games are going to be primarily played by men. So if you're making a shooter game that's primarily made for men, then you should make sure that all of the female characters in the game are fuckable.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this might sound crazy to say, but I'm just going to say it. That's what you should do.
Yep.
That's what you should do, because that's what people want to do. That's what girls will cosplay. Girls don't want to cosplay ugly, weird-looking, androgynous, creepy characters. And all of that, like, think about how much advertising Marvel Rivals gets because of how many girls try to cosplay the characters. The girl character in the cinematic is fuckable, though? Yeah, but she could be more fuckable, and that she should have been. And I think that they really missed the opportunity to do that. And everybody thinks that, like, and the reason why I say this is because, like, I'm already assumed to be the king of the incels, right? And
I guess so.
I feel like I can say this and nobody's surprised. The fact is that I'm right. I'm right, even if you don't want me to be right, even if you think that I shouldn't be right, even if you think that this is the wrong way of looking at things. I can tell you time and time again, example and example again, every single time this turns out to be true. And if you're making a game and you want it to sell, you need to follow these principles. And if you don't, you are setting yourself at a disadvantage. And if you want to set yourself at a disadvantage, that's your right to do that. But at the same time, you're setting yourself at a disadvantage.
Don't
you're
come crying to us.
Anyone want a fuckable character? I just want hot characters to look at and not one to simp after. I think that having a character that's fuckable is one way of saying it, but a better way of saying it is having a character that you feel is visually appealing and visually enticing. And so, really, the overlap there is almost a circle in terms of a Venn diagram. But the fundamental thing is the same.
True.
And so that's really about what it is. It's about being visually enticing or visually appealing. Like Death Stranding 2, some of the characters, like that weird guy with the guitar, he wasn't really fuckable in a way, but I guarantee you there are girls typing on Twitter, oh, I like him, like he's cool, right? Because, like, even characters that look weird have to have a certain type of positive visual appeal. And I think that that's what... No, I'm telling you, I guarantee you that people are saying that for sure. And so anyway, yeah. The fuck you on? I'm on reality.
Pretty much, man.
I'm on reality. And I think there's a reason why so many people are responding this way.
Hang on, bro.
I am. And you can be mad. People over and over have gotten mad at me for saying stuff like this, but every single time I've been proven to be right.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess.
Every single time. But anyway, again, all of this will be secondary to the game being good. Right? Like, if the game plays well, it will be able to overcome any visual problems or anything like that.
Fuck no, dude.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Fuck
any
no, dude.
demos or anything like
I wish, but fuck no, dude. That's not gonna happen.
Absolutely play.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
So we'll just have to wait and see when it actually comes out, right?
Taxes was taxing. Now taxes is relaxing when you file for free.
I can file for free? TurboTax Free Edition. 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify. TurboTax.com/.
I was gonna let that fucking ad play, but I don't want to. So let's keep going. Man. Cool. Well, I guess that's fucking everything. Cool. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.